Rangers are a team of offensive power and depth. They are led by Mark Messier, who knows what it means to win a Stanley Cup. Brian Leach and Adam Graves, they would like to learn as New York Rangers. The depth of this team, the likes of veteran Steve Larmer and Esa Tikkanen. But it doesn't end there. The New York Rangers, making trades at the deadline, have become an even more physical team. And for the New York Rangers, that means a great run at the playoffs. The last time the Stanley Cup banner was up in New York was 1940. Mike Keenan was brought in to coach this team to bring it back. Can the New York Rangers do it? They've been #1 all season. The question now is, can they end that way? Welcome to Winnipeg, Manitoba. This is the home of the Winnipeg Jets, where today the New York Rangers, the #1 team in the league, take on the Jets at home. And a game that does matter. Down to the wire for the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. These are the top 4 teams. This is how they would be seeded if the playoffs started today. But look at New Jersey. They are only 2 points behind the Rangers, but #1 overall. You finish #1, you get home ice throughout the playoffs. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement. Great to have you on ABC's coverage of the National Hockey League. And the Ranger team we see today is a good one.
Incredible team, Gary, but this was supposed to be a tune-up game down the stretch against the Winnipeg Jets, but because of the New Jersey Devils, this is a meaningful game for the Rangers. And meaningful or not, the New York Rangers are a tough team to play against. Tremendous depth and strength at every position, especially up front. 2 of the best power forwards in the game, Messier and Graves. Strength, power, finesse, and a keen desire to win another Stanley Cup. Add to that the fact 2 of the top scorers on the Rangers teams are defensemen, Brian Leach and Sergei Zubov. One way or the other, now after the trading deadline, the New York Rangers can say this: you want to play it one way, we'll play it that way. You want to play it another way, choose your weapon, we'll dance.
Obviously a big game for them if they want to stay ahead of New Jersey, and the man we'll see on the ice who leads them, he has 4 Stanley Cup rings. They came in Edmonton. He was brought to New York to bring another. They're very close.
For this guy, any deodorant will do, but these guys need Speed Stick, antiperspirant that gives 110%. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick, for movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
Nature can be devastating to wood. All-purpose water sealer's waterproof. So does Olympic WaterGuard for wood. But only Olympic has sunblock protection to fight sun damage, plus resists mildew, and has penetrating linseed oil to strengthen wood fibers. Olympic WaterGuard with 4-way wood protection, because wood needs more than an all-purpose water sealer.
I got a Michael Jordan MVP cup and Michael's favorite burger from McDonald's. He's bound to let me play one-on-one.
Hurry into McDonald's today for Michael's favorite extra value meal, the Double Big Mac. And for 39 cents more, supersize it, or any extra value meal for more fries and more drink. And get an MVP collector cup free.
Charles, you sitting here.
So what do you say?
Just this once.
What you want is what you get.
To my dear friend Charles.
At McDonald's today.
Hey, there's that cool recliner. Come on, Skeet's up there. Oh, the recliner, come on. Hey,
How about both?
Presents Recliner Ski Jump.
No way.
Boy, Johnson's ready. He's been training for this for years, Bob. Watch this layback. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste with less filling, you can combine anything. He's got the record and the light. What a share.
What a beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Oh, so it's my fault.
I didn't say that.
Well, then what do you say?
You don't listen.
You never change.
The new Volkswagen Jetta has an adaptive automatic transmission. It senses the way you drive and adjusts to fit your personality.
Maybe you are.
Maybe I'm not.
It's a shame we only make cars.
The heat is on in Palm Springs. The LPGA's hottest players go after their first major of the year. It's the final round of the Nabisco Dinah Shore today on ABC.
Welcome back to our ABC studios in New York. I'm John Saunders. We'll get you out to the New York Rangers and the Winnipeg Jets in just a moment. But first, a reminder, we will be following other games, including an important matchup between Detroit and Chicago. As you look at Sergei Fedorov, he is the second leading scorer in the league behind Wayne Gretzky. For Chicago, Jeremy Roenick needs just 2 points to record his 3rd consecutive 100-point season. He will lead the Chicago Blackhawks. Other games we will follow today. Detroit and Chicago, as we have mentioned that one. Boston and Washington, it's their first meeting since the Juneau for I.F. Frady trade. Washington has been on fire since Jim Schoenfeld took over as coach. Los Angeles and Vancouver. Pavel Bure, 11 goals, 7 assists in his last 9 games, but for Los Angeles, they're just trying to fight their way into the playoffs. We'll follow those games and more between periods, and we'll get you out to hockey right after this.
People say it's what's inside that counts. Well, people, I got a confession. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Don't let flakes be the first thing people see. Head and Shoulders helps prevent flakes. Doesn't just rinse them away like regular shampoos. It's like no other shampoo in the world.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
A roof over their heads, food on the table, rules to follow, values to live by. All the things you provide to give your family a sense of security and well-being, including this important piece of protection from the leader in individual life insurance. Because you want to be able to sleep at night, too. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
We give birth to the product. The customer gives life to it. We need the dreams of the people. If people stopped dreaming, we would be useless. You know, there was the time where some customer would pay with a piece of paper by OMS. Then another one said, I have the same, but it's called American Express. Why not?
American Express can give life to a lot of dreams. We even know how to make them come true.
The National Hockey League on ABC is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Citibank Visa, now with your photo and signature on the front for greater security. Not just Visa, Citibank Visa. And Logo Athletic, get real with licensed team apparel.
That's a real treat. Michael Burgess from Les Mis performing the national anthems here. Welcome back to Winnipeg, and joining us at ice level, Al Morganti.
Thanks, Gary. Well, the New York Rangers roster, in addition to raw talent, it's stocked with playoff experience and guys who wear Stanley Cup rings. As if they weren't deep enough at that department at the trading deadline, they added 2 more winners, Glenn Anderson and Craig McCavish, both of whom won the Cup with the Edmonton Oilers organization. All told, 7 players from that Edmonton organization on the Rangers roster now. 8 have their name inscribed on the Cup. The question now is, will those names always be remembered as somebody else's heroes, or is this the spring finally when the heroes are on Broadway? Guys?
Well, they certainly have made every move that Mike Keenan wanted. He wanted to toughen it up, muscle it up, and that's exactly what they've done while still maintaining great offensive power.
The bottom line is this, Gary. Mike Keenan's team now is harder to play against. I think that is the key of all the moves.
Messier is out on the first line for the Rangers. Adam Graves will be out there with him. In net is Glenn Healy for the New York Rangers, and Tim Cheveldae, his 7th start in a row coming over from Detroit, will be in net for the Winnipeg Jets. Thomas Steen working behind the net, gets pinned up by Leach. Right out in front, Kukaboom. Shot for Sato, save. Rebound centered left side, can't get a shot off. 2 great chances. Russ Romanek, the second chance. Steen trying to do the wraparound. Sends it in on net, and Healy's going to cover that one up. Nice push in the opening face-off by the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, Glenn Healy is starting in goal today. That's nothing new on the road. He has had 15 starts. 12 of them have come on the road. His last home start was the day after Christmas, and you have to go back to October before that. He has gotten used to starting on the road. And one of the newest Winnipeg Jets, Tim Cheveldae.
Tim Cheveldae, 26 years old, acquired from Detroit after it became virtually impossible for him to play at home. The fans were on him unmercifully, and so now he is here in a Jets uniform. Face-off will come to the right of Glenn Healy. And going to whistle it, and Tkachuk will come in. Take a look at number 7, Keith Tkachuk, a 22-year-old out of Massachusetts who's having a magnificent year for the Jets. Stefan Quintal dumps it in. Healy goes back to get it. Kevin Lowe working on defense now for the Rangers. Rangers having trouble getting out of the zone. Nelson Emerson, save, rebound deflected wide. 2 chances again for the Jets. Borsado, the second opportunity. Limer dumps it in wide. Chased down in the end by Ulanoff. Igor Ulanoff up for Tkachuk. Tkachuk tried to drop it out of the zone. Limer was there to hold it in. Now it's the Rangers' turn. Zubov! Shovelday makes the save. Zubov, one of the outstanding stories this season in the National Hockey League. The defenseman who can score. Kevin Lowe, a defenseman who doesn't score a lot, but he's solid back there. Dumped behind the net, Stefan Matteau. Ulanoff got it around him. Held in on the near side by Kovalev. Kovalev tied up by Borsado. Back to Matteau. Shot deflected off the side of the net. Limer. Batted away from Limer by Quintal, and Emerson will pick it up. Lowe knocks it away at center. Some of the guys were laughing this morning about the game starting at noon local time here. They weren't sure if they were going to be up yet for the game, and it starts out looking like maybe they're not. Ty Domi tips it away to center. King tried to bring it in. Boom ties him up. Adam Graves, though, at the best line. He gave me his breakfast of champions today. I asked him, did you eat breakfast? And Graves said, oh, yeah, I always eat breakfast. I had spaghetti and coffee.
And I will guarantee you that he had that extra cup of coffee. It is hard to get going. I mean, a lot of players, when they practice well and don't play that well, sometimes they're referred to as morning glories. This is tailor-made for the morning glories. A noon start here in Winnipeg.
Tailor-made for guys who like practice, huh? Yep. Sent off on the near side for Noonan. Yet another member of the New York Rangers just joining this team in his 4th game. Noonan right there with the puck. Brian Noonan, acquired from Chicago in his 7th season. Noonan along the point, can't hold it in. Boom there. Both teams come over the boards on the change. No score here in the opening 3 minutes from Winnipeg. Near side King. King knocked down, but got the puck off ice for Fisher, who couldn't handle it. Rangers, Craig McTavish, the man without a helmet. And there aren't many left in the National Hockey League. Brought in left side Koser. Koser dropped it back, came back to center ice LeBlanc. LeBlanc, he gets tied up at center by McTavish, lost control of the puck. And at center ice, the teams go back and forth controlling. Dave Manson, new acquisition for the Winnipeg Jets. Dallas Drake from Detroit came over in the Shovelday deal. Drake drops it back for Shannon. We've got 2 of them. Daryl Shannon works on defense. Darren Shannon works on left wing. Good luck. And you'll hear Shannon all day, and it'll now be up to you to determine who is who.
Well, they're easy to tell apart. One wears 24, one wears 34. One's 5 pounds heavier, too. You should be able to see that. That's the difference
right there. Craig Fisher just called up, cleared it out through center. No whistles here in the opening 3.5 minutes. We'll get one right here. Shots are 3-1 in favor of the Jets. No score.
Hey, the Miss Perfect pageant.
Yeah.
We're watching hockey.
Hockey. Let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents the Miss Perfect Face-Off.
Okay, Bob, Miss Georgia goes to the corner. She plays the right. Here's the puck coming loose. The shot. She goes!
Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything.
Oh, that'll be smashing. 2 minutes for Miss Congeniality.
Bad call.
Good beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Citibank has really given us a new sense of self because we have our own identity.
I have a Citibank Visa card, and it does have my photo on it, so I have one less worry.
And not only that, but you can pick where you like. So it doesn't look like a DMV photo.
I don't know why the other credit cards aren't doing the same thing. We need a photo card so family members can tell us apart.
The first credit card with your photo and signature on front for greater security. Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
The National Hockey League on ABC. Rangers and Winnipeg no score. Other games going on in the National Hockey League. We'll keep you updated on those. John Saunders in our studio. Brian Leach, the barehanded pass around the net. Messier to Boom on the near side. Timo Solani, the great Winnipeg star, is out for the season. Severed Achilles tendon. Teppo Numminen out. Fractured thumb, gone for the year. Randy Gillen out for the season. Dislocated shoulder. And Alexei Zamnov, their #1 center, is going to Los Angeles. He's got a herniated disc from an old injury. They're going to decide tomorrow whether he needs to be operated on. So this team is short some good players.
That's how bad it has been for the Winnipeg Jets. Zamnov, their best defenseman, or best center. Numminen, their best defenseman. And you look up and down the lineup of the guys that aren't in, and they are all key players. And Solani, obviously, their best winger.
Even Solani, their second leading scorer, even though he hasn't played many games this season. Brian Leach leading the rush for the Rangers, dumps it in. Tim Cheveldae going back to get it. Cheveldae playing it around. Messier moved up to hold it in on Shannon and did. Dropped it out in front. Comes all the way back towards Zubov, but Romanek knocked it away to center. The Jets are led by Keith Tkachuk with 75 points and 37 goals. Nelson Emerson, Alexei Zhamnov, and Teemu Solani, their top four. Solani, of course, is out of there, and this season, what a disaster for him. He's played in only 51 games this year. Borsato on the near side, knocked away. Rod Schick, the referee, got a piece of that one. Steve Larmer sends it behind the net for Cheveldae. Just dropped it off along the side for Quintal. Stefan Quintal sent it out. Zubov there. Zubov will chase it down. Healy came out to play it. No score. 5 minutes into the first period. Jets with 3 shots on net, and the Rangers have 1. New York Rangers coming off a 5-2 win that ended in a brawl in Vancouver on Friday, while the Winnipeg Jets lost to San Jose here on Friday by a score of 8-3. Healy again forced to play it. Had Borsato moving up. Played on the near side. Zubov got it by King. Good pass. Kovalev brings it in. Kovalev working with Mateau. Near side shot. Save made. Cheveldae on Larmer. Great to have you with us on ABC's coverage of the NHL.
Hey, I've been attacked by sharks. And struck by lightning. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I give it. Come on. In this league, the fans are as tough as the players.
Chelios, you're a bum!
Win! Get real.
Logo Athletic, licensed team apparel.
Hey, there's that cool recliner. Come on, Skeed's up there. Oh, the recliner, come on.
Hey, how about both?
Miller Lite presents Recliner Ski Jump.
No way.
Boy, Johnson's ready. He's been training for this for years, Bob. Watch this layback. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste with less filling, you can combine anything. He's got the record and the light.
What a beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Score here in Winnipeg, the Rangers and the Jets. Other games going on in the National Hockey League, as we said, including Detroit. Fedorov has picked up his 52nd to tie Anderchuk for the lead in goals scored now in the NHL. And these other ones we'll keep an eye on as well. Washington battling for the playoff spot. Above those Florida Panthers. Another win.
They just keep on coming, don't they?
Wow. John Paddock, the coach of the Jets, I was talking with him this morning. I said, who would you vote for MVP? He said, if they make the playoffs, it has to be Van Beesbrook. He has been magnificent in net. Cleared into the corner. Cheveldae going back to get it.
I'm not sure Neil Smith of the Rangers wants to hear that.
No, I'm sure he doesn't, but I suspect he might privately agree. Tomlinson plays it in behind the net. Dave Tomlinson just called up for today's game, not even listed on the roster. He's out there wearing number 11, 24-year-old out of British Columbia, had been with Toronto. And a penalty coming up. Rod Schick with our first, and with us today in the studios, John Saunders.
Gary, thanks a lot. Here's one reason why Sergei Fedorov is one of the most exciting players in the league. One-on-one moves as he beats Hackett there as the Red Wings jump in front of Chicago. Back to Gary and Bill.
John, thanks very much. 13:44 left to go here in the first period.
Now here is the hook. Chris King was headed to the blue line, and King made it look good. Got a little head action into it. He was hooked in the arm, but somehow the head was connected to the bicep on that one.
Norstrom goes with high stick. He got it pretty good. That's a 7 or an 8.
You got to do it. Acting 101, and everybody does it.
All right, power play opportunity. The first one of the game, and it's going to be for the Winnipeg Jets. They finished 8th last year on the power play. They are 10th this season. The New York Rangers, the best penalty-killing team in the National Hockey League, and 6th best on the road. They've given up only 59 power play goals this season. Winnipeg Jets with the opportunity. Messier knocked it away to Bookeboom. Cleared around the boards. Leading them in power play goals is Tkachuk, who has 20, and he's wearing number 7. He just batted it up on the near side. Dallas Drake in the power play unit. Manson shot deflected wide. Glenn Healy came out to play it. Nelson Emerson sends it deeper. Woodboom partially blocking the pass. Wayne McBean working the point on the far side, able to hold that one in. Shannon behind the net. That's Manson. Manson coming from Chicago, fanned on by McBean. Messier giving chase. Rangers are dangerous even when they are short-handed. They have scored 20 short-handed goals, second best in the league.
Including 2 in their last game against Vancouver. They beat Vancouver with 5 goals, 3 power play goals, 2 short-handed goals. If the series started today with the Rangers in the series and it became a special team series, lots of penalties, lots of power plays, the Rangers would be a strong favorite just on the basis of that.
Kevin Lowe knocked it away to Zuboff. Zuboff still has the puck. Rangers short-handed. Nice flip out of the zone. Manson back to get it. 2 Rangers were up ice. Kachuk let that go. Lowe had to play it. Would have been an offside pass if Kachuk had touched it up. Shovelday at the far end. Power play underway here. 34 seconds left on it for the Winnipeg Jets. Bill, as you were saying, their specialty team differential right now is a +47. That is the best in the National Hockey League. McBean back in his own end with Manson. 20 seconds on the power play. Romanek drops it across ice. In the middle, Steen to Drake. Drake with Romanek following. Trying to get it back to Steen. Kevin Lowe knocked it away. 12 left on the Jets power play. And the Rangers, good job, Kovalev. Kovalev up. Manson held it in. Right back to Kovalev. 3 seconds remaining on the power play. Kovalev will rag it, and it's over. The Jets do not convert. They are 0 for 1. Nordstrom is out of the penalty box and intercepts the pass at center ice. So it remains a scoreless game with 11:35 to go here in the first period. Played by Thomas Steen. They get back on side. And call. Dumped it behind the net. Romanek back. Steen the shot. Healy, it's behind him, and he covers it up. Leach was there to help him. The puck had drifted behind him, but did not cross the line on the chance for Thomas Steen.
Boy, Glenn Healy did a terrific job just getting back into the cage to protect against it. Thomas Steen has been here all 13 years of his career, and he just signed on for another year. This one out to him, and Healy had come out to try to cut that pass coming around and had to scramble to get back. Tell you what, the Winnipeg Jets have come out here flying. A team that's out of the playoffs. They are second worst in the league next to the Ottawa Senators. I mean, as long as they can hang in this game, they will play like this. If the Rangers should open up a couple-goal lead, a 3-goal lead, then you would expect them to wilt, kind of wither on the vine. But right now, they are hot. They've had 3 good games in their last 4. The last one was a stinker. They lost 8-3 to the San Jose Sharks. But before that, 3 wins, and Tim Shovelday backstopped them all. So they've been playing with at least a little bit of heart.
They have done that. Paddock, of course, trying to get this team ready for another year. They've made some changes. They're going to miss the playoffs for the 5th time in their 15-year existence here in Winnipeg. No score. 11-11 left in the first. Winnipeg Jets. Shannon brings it up on the attack. Shannon over to Borsato. Luciano Borsato pays for it dearly as he got knocked down. He was looking for someone to pass to. Adam Graves, the leading goal scorer for the New York Rangers, out there wearing number 9. He has started today, tied for second, and still is, as far as goal scorers are concerned in the league. Ulanov tied up by Messier, got dumped by Messier. No call on it as Graves comes away with it through center. Can't control. Ty Domi, former New York Ranger, collides with Leach, sent in, and that'll end up over the glass for a souvenir. 10:36 to go, first period from Winnipeg. The Jets and Rangers, no score.
It began in the heartland, in towns small and large. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 12,500 convenient locations. More than any other company of any kind in America. Citgo, feel the pride.
Well, there ain't no doubt about the power of two. Well, yeah, boy, bruh, I'm rockin' you. Get out of the air. Get out, get into the air. Get vertical. Vertical. The power of two. Get vertical. Vertical.
New York Rangers trying to get their second win of the season against these Winnipeg Jets. No score, though, in the first period. Shots are 5-3 in favor of the Jets. It's been a defensive struggle here in the first part of this first period. Most of it played at center ice. McTavish, the only man helmetless in the National Hockey League now, sets the screen. Brian Noonan shot, save made by Shovelday. Ty Domi. Domi looking through center. Esa Tikkanen batted it off his stick. Played back into the zone. Good work by Mattias Nordstrom, who got that one in. Nordstrom had not played for the last 2 games on this road trip. This is the 4th of 5th road games for the New York Rangers. They will charter after this game back to New York because their final game on this trip is going to be in Philadelphia. Offside as Noonan was still in the zone. Miller Lite, league leaders as far as the goal scorers are concerned. There you see Andreychuk and Fedorov. Fedorov has picked up a goal today. Then you've got Graves and Hall, Fleury and Neely. Neely gone for the season.
Boy, when you have Adam Graves and Mark Messier on the same team and you add size to those forwards, boy, oh boy, what a team you've got. Vic Hatfield, the only other New York Ranger ever to score 50 goals.
With Graves.
But this was Wednesday.
There's number 50, Adam Graves, on the feed from Mark Messier.
I asked him today what he did with the stick that he scored his 50th with. He said, you know what, I put it aside right away. Came to the bench, put it away because I'm going to get it kind of framed so my dad can have it. And then he said, I went out 3 minutes later, I scored when I realized I had another special stick because I got my 51st with it. He may even give both of them to his dad. His dad also has his only Stanley Cup ring there, real tight.
That's great. The all-time leading goal scorer now for the New York Rangers in a season. Around the net, Kovalev. Kovalev looking in front for Larmer. Larmer, Kovalev and Mateau in this line for the Rangers. Larmer, but coming up along, is out in front of the net. Couldn't get it back to him. Low with Tkachuk moving over. Tkachuk will play it there. Keith Tkachuk, 76 games he has played this season. For this Jet team, he has been a steady, solid player. Kovalev will dump it in. Shovelday going back behind the net. Rangers without Doug Lidster scratched today. Eddie Olchuk, Sergei Nemchinov serving the 5th of an 8-game suspension. Mike Hudson serving the 6th of a 10-game suspension. Mike Hartman, Jay Wells, the other scratches for them. Lukaboom up on the near side. No score, 8:40 to go. First period here in Winnipeg. Leach dropped it into the zone. Kiprios trying to center. Esa Tikkanen couldn't get it there. Pull it off from behind the net for the Jets. Lukaboom steps up for the Rangers. Had it. Romanek lost it. Lukaboom won it back. Batted out of the zone finally. The Rangers will chase it down in their own end. Tough defensive battle here in the first.
I'm really impressed with the Jets' coverage. As soon as the Rangers cross the blue line, if you give any team time in the offensive zone, they're going to do some damage. The Rangers will kill you if you give them time. The Jets are moving to their checks quickly, and they're reading right. It's not only moving to them quickly, you got to get the right guy, and they're doing it.
They're keeping the shots down. Leach has to circle back. The Rangers averaging 3.6 goals a game. The Winnipeg Jets are under 3 at 2.99, so they know the Jets. It needs to be a defensive game if they are to get the better of it. Leach sends it back into the zone. Stepan Quintal, Rangers change it. Near side for Dallas break. He'll just whip it in as they continue to dump and chase. Zubov goes back to get it. Sergei Zubov, the leading defensive scorer for this club. 5th in the league in assists. Inside shot, backed up in the air. Good opportunity. Rangers getting it out in front. Then Anderson on the ice, and now, Messier takes 2 shots after the whistle.
He landed a third one. A third one on Ulanov. And I'm going to tell you something. Mark Messier doesn't do that very often. Those are 3 of the quickest left I've ever seen, and Ulanov wasn't ready for any of them.
Nobody had dropped their gloves. They were standing there talking, and then it was boom, boom, boom by Mark Messier.
It sure was. Yeah, it started in the corner. Messier went in, and he made a great pass here. Beautiful pass out to Glenn Anderson, and he watched his pass. And that's when Ulanov got him, but there goes Messier. When those eyes start to get the real stare going, I don't care who you are, you better look out if Mark Messier is coming for you. Now, Messier had already knocked him down when Ulanov got up. There's one. Messier sort of faked the drop of the glove. Bingo! Ooh. Bingo! That was the third one. Those are left jabs worthy of a light heavyweight champ.
2 minutes for cross-checking and a double minor for roughing.
He gets a double minor for roughing and cross-checking, and is probably a little fortunate it's not more than that.
Yeah, that's the problem when you put on your boxing display. If nobody answers the bell on the other side of the ring, you end up sitting and you put your team at a disadvantage.
So that
See, that's what the Rangers can do now because of their penalty killing.
They're so strong they feel strong enough even when they're out there. There you see ABC's coverage of the National Hockey League that will be coming up next Sunday. Boston, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Detroit, Edmonton, Los Angeles, and Dallas, Washington. All part of our regional coverage beginning at 1 Eastern, 12 noon, and Pacific. Right here on ABC. Check your local listings. The Eastern Conference with 8 teams going to the playoffs in the National Hockey League. Those are the top 6. Pittsburgh would be seeded second in the playoffs. The Devils still have a very good chance of catching the Rangers for #1 overall. Florida has picked up a couple more points last night. Flyers lost, so they're 4 down now. The Islanders falling a little deeper behind.
You know, a couple of weeks ago we said whoever gets the best goaltending of those 3 teams, the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Florida Panthers, have to be the favorite down the stretch. And John Van Beesler, now Mark Fitzpatrick for Florida, have played terrific in goal.
What a tandem they've proven to be. Islander and a Ranger, former goaltender.
Both may be coming back to play the Rangers. For that matter, maybe the Devils.
To haunt both of those teams, maybe. Face-off will come to the right of Shovelday. This is a 4-minute power play opportunity now in the double minor. Leach the shot, short-handed. Shovelday makes the save. Back to get it, Dave Manson. Tough, hard-nosed, rugged player working on the power play. Thomas Steen squeezed out. Leach has it and drops it back.
Gary, tough, rugged, all of those things about Dave Manson, but also on the power play. The Jets are 5 for 16 on the power play, not bad at all. Since acquiring Dave Manson, that, if you look at all over for Winnipeg, you look for something positive. The only thing you can even say is remotely positive is their power play.
Power play has worked all season long. They did not score in their first chance in this game. That is Nelson Emerson. Emerson sends it in. Glenn Healy working in net for the Rangers. Had it partially blocked into the corner. Larmer stepped up. Emerson there with him. Bookeboom battling for it along with Shannon. Steen stepped in. Rolls out to center. Got to be chased down by Manson as he had Essa Tickenham. Goes off Tickenham's stick. Manson again. Down to 2:58 on this 4-minute advantage to the Jets. Zubov back. Zubov takes it in behind the net. Kevin Lowe was out protected. Kentall plays it. Both teams coming over the boards here, changing it up. Steen brings it in. No score. 6:13 to go in the first period, and Frank McTavish puts it by Kentall to center. Note how the Rangers rush it. When they get control of the puck, they don't just dump it out of the zone. They start a rush up ice when they're short-handed.
No, they go for it. They gave away a little speed in Mike Gardner and Tony Amati, and both of those players killed penalties for the New York Rangers. And they don't have quite as much speed, but they're a better team along the boards.
Icing call as it's touched up by Lowe. With 2:19 left on the power play, let's check in with John Saunders.
Gary, the Bruins and the Capitals, and the Caps are on the power play, but the puck gets away, and Freddie Knipsch here with a nice pass to Brian Smolinski, who lets the shot go, beats Beaupre glove side, and Boston scores the short-handed goal to lead 1-0. Gary and Bill.
Boy, the Bruins just keep finding a way to do it, don't they? Even without Ray Bourque and Cam Neely. And the Jets can't find a way to do it on their power play. They come through the neutral zone with no speed at all. You see the pressure that the Rangers put on one side. They've got both of their penalty killers on one side that are up front. Now Winnipeg makes a smart move and moves it over to this side. Terrific lateral movement by the defense Zubov to get over there and cut him off. If you don't have good speed coming through the neutral zone, you pretty well have no chance to get it in the zone. You got to dump it in.
They have that speed. Dallas Gray brings it in, centering pass deflected in front. Rangers able to get it out of the zone. Kovalev short-handed. Kovalev for the Rangers. He's all alone. Brings it back. Noonan joins the play and deflected it wide. There you see the Rangers short-handed. Kovalev got the elbow up on the far side on McBean. He got away with it, but he really nailed it. Minute 47 on this 4-minute advantage for the Jets in a scoreless game. Ryan Leach around the boards. Adam Graves on the far side. Graves sees a lot of open ice. Manson comes out to get it. Again, the teams change up on their specialty units here. Dump back into the zone. Graves put the hit on. Zubov got the puck as Emerson sent it in. And the length of the ice, Shovelday going back to get it. Shots are even at 5. But on this power play, Winnipeg Jets have not had really any good opportunity and have not had it set up in the zone. Brought in by Emerson, a minute 13 on the power play. Emerson, Zubov cut it down. Kachuk couldn't get the shot off. Manson, far side. Nelson Emerson looking in front. Kachuk was there, but it was blocked. Kachuk was winding up, but Zubov intercepted the pass. Zubov with Graves. They decide to rag it back. Kevin Lowe back to get it. Lowe off the near side boards for Graves. He dumps it in. 50 left. Messier serving a double minor, sitting and watching his team kill off this power play. Manson lost his stick, took it and knocked it away. Larmer couldn't get it, and a whistle and a glove pass, I believe. Yes, Manson gloved it ahead. The Western Conference of the National Hockey League, again with 8 teams going from each conference to the playoffs. Not a conference that's had great strength this season as far as wins are concerned in one of their divisions, because really only Calgary has played well out there, and Vancouver. There you see the seedings for the top 6. There is room to move there, but San Jose, they are doing it.
Yeah, not much room to move there. Anaheim and Los Angeles are trying to catch San Jose, but it doesn't look like they're going to do it. And Wayne Gretzky will become only the second guy in 42 years to win the scoring championship if he can hang on to do that and miss the playoffs. Mario Lemieux did it in '88.
Wow. Steen sends it in. 25 left on the power play. Steen around the boards. Manson steps up. Still a power play for the Jets. Steen looking for Ty Domi. Centered Domi. Went underneath his stick. They tied him up, knocked him down. Rangers right in front of Glenn Healy. Shovelday at the other end. 10 seconds left on the double minor to Messier. Manson backs it up for King. Chris King, former Ranger. Ian Domi came over here from the Rangers. Borsato brings it in. Borsato got leveled by Bukaboom. Back for Borsato. King shot, save Healy. King on an errant pass that ended up right on his stick. Power play is over. King again, saved by Healy.
Hey, Gary, that shot came after the power play. You talk about flexing your penalty-killing muscles. No shots on Glenn Healy during that double minor.
A 4-minute power play without a shot. King flips it out. We're scoreless. 3 minutes left to go in the first period. Shot 7-6 in favor of the Jets. Hitting picks up. King dropped it away. Luciano Borsato, who played his college hockey at Clarkson University, sends that one into the zone. Jets changing up now. Kovalev brings it up ice. Kovalev with Larmer and Kyprios. Tied up in the corner. Ulanoff still has it. Tries to go out in front. Larmer the shot. Deflected off the defenseman's skates. And a penalty coming up in front. Rob Chick for the call. We'll have it when we come back. We are scoreless.
Whoa, sumo wrestling.
Come on, we'll miss the high dive competition. High dive, sumo, high dive.
Guys, let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents Sumo High Dive.
No.
Yes, it's true.
Here's the reverse 2.5.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything.
He's going for no splash.
It is Greens, Bob.
Some dive.
Some beer. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
The Winnipeg Jets had no shots on their power play, but just as the power play expired, a couple of former Rangers teamed up on a passing play. Number 20 is Ty Domi. I don't think he's intending this pass for Chris King, but watch 17 wade into it. We could say by Healy.
That's the hardest shot taken by a Jet on Healy thus far. Rangers even a power play underway now. Leach takes it into the corner. Tomlinson is gone at 17:23 for cross-checking, so the Jets are short-handed. And the Rangers get a power play chance. They are second best percentage-wise on the power play in the league, and they've scored more power play goals than any other team, 90 of them. In addition to that, they're second best on the road, all around strong. They're on the power play right now. 2 minutes to go in the period. Kovalev on the near side. Kovalev dropped it. Larmer's shot, trying to put it up. Roof it. It went high. Zubov working the point with Kovalev and Leach now. Leach along the boards. He'll move up to the point. Kovalev tried to drop it off. Romanov had it. Fanned on by Manson. Atto cleared it back up. Great pass. Kovalev to Zubov. Back to Kovalev. Jets staying back in the box here. Kovalev looking. They got the set up in front. Nobody moving. Kovalev shot, save made. Rebound shot. Larmer, and that's deflected wide. Shovelay the first save. The second one off the defense.
The Rangers have one of the most talented power plays in the league, but they still do some blue-collar stuff, some basic stuff that you have to do. When that shot went to the net, they had 3 players in front for an overload.
Glenn Anderson comes out to work the power play now. Anderson, of course, a big acquisition from Toronto. Noonan banned on it. Cleared up, not out. Zuboff held it in. Mike Gardner, who had 2 goals last night, going over to Toronto. Toronto winning a game. He helping out. And over here, the veteran Glenn Anderson.
Yeah, Mike Gardner, 15 straight seasons with 30 goals.
Adam Graves centered it. It went wide. Played by Noonan. Ryan Noonan back for Graves. Graves working with Noonan up front. Zuboff the shot. Blocked. Shannon clears it out. 6 seconds left on the Ranger power play. Brian Leach, 4th leading defensive scorer, goes back to get it. Dropped it off for Noonan. Noonan in offside, and the penalty is over. Neither team able to convert on their power play.
What is so interesting about Mike Keenan's power play is they don't practice it, believe it or not. He just lets them go out there and really improvise very often, but they're so bright, combined with the fact that they know when to get to the front of the net. They are absolutely successful. They're also very difficult to scout when they don't have any set plays. So once the puck goes back to the point, they got people in front. There's the overload. 3 Rangers, 2 Jets. They had that overload situation a number of times in this power play. Look at Stéphane Matteau. There aren't enough people to check them. You got to leave them alone.
Shoveled a good concentration to make the save on that one that came through. Back to even strength now with 25 seconds left in the period. John will bring us up to date on other games of the National Hockey League during our first intermission. And special look coming up as well. McTavish on number 99, Wayne Gretzky. That's all during our first break. Shannon the other way with Steen. He'll send it in wide of Healy. Down to 5 seconds left on the clock. Ty Domi sends it around near side. Shannon's got it. Centering pass to McTavish, knocked it away. And we have completed one here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. ABC's coverage of the National Hockey League. The Jets and the New York Rangers. After the first period, it's the Jets and Rangers scoreless.
Monday, an international crime crisis that threatens the extinction of nature's noblest cat. Day 1 treks through the jungles of India on the trail of heartless tiger poachers driven by greed and profit.
The poachers all over the globe are minting money.
Forrest Sawyer, Day 1, Monday at 8, 7 Central.
Suppose would create a car with an interior so well thought out. It gives you the confidence to perform maneuvers like this, even while you perform maneuvers like this. The Lexus GS.
Oh, man. Look what you did. What I did? Just who do you think you are, man? Who do you think I am?
Easy, fellas. What would he do?
Oh, the Yellow Pages?
Just any Yellow Pages?
Genuine Yellow Pages.
9 out of 10 use it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages.
Perhaps you can't change the world, but you can change the lives of 250,000 Americans like myself, fighting the crippling effects of multiple sclerosis. I'm Annette Funicello, asking you to join the MS Walk to raise funds to support vital research and services. With a little help from you, we can go the distance.
For more information, call 1-800-909-WALK. Be a wheel watcher.
Tomorrow at 7:30, right here on Channel 7.
Welcome back to the National Hockey League here on ABC. The game you're watching, the New York Rangers scoreless with the Winnipeg Jets after 1 period. We'll get you back to the 2nd period. But right now, some bonus coverage. We're going to take you out to Boston and Washington. We join Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti.
First period, the Boston Bruins on a shorthanded goal by Brian Smolinski lead the Washington Capitals 1-0. You're looking at Sylvain Cote, the Caps defenseman, and Jim Schoenfeld. They want a penalty called. Cote clipped with the stick by Brent Hughes of the Boston Bruins, and the officials discussing it. Paul Dvorsky, the referee, talking with Gord Brosiker and Leon Stickle, his linesman, to get their input whether anyone saw the infraction.
Well, the linesman can make the call, and
That's a rule that they put in back a few years ago, which is a very good rule because there's so much happening. The game is so quick. And now, again, Dvorsky discussing this with Hunter, and it would seem to me, at least, Sam, that the Capitals are not going to get the call.
Well, they want a major penalty called on Hughes. Hughes is in the penalty box. It looks like it's going to be a 2-minute minor.
Again, this play happens inside the Boston blue line. Cote handling the puck, and you can see Hughes coming from the left of Cote, and he just slashed him across the face, and we are going to have a penalty.
It's a double minor, 4 minutes, and the official has that option of calling the double minor. It keeps Brent Hughes in the game. A major would have meant the game misconduct. It's a double minor to Brent Hughes. Jim Schoenfeld talking to Paul Dvorsky about the reasons for that call. You saw the cut on the face of Sylvain Cote. And most times when a cut occurs, they will call a major penalty.
That's right. That's why this is surprising. The other factor being if it's a major, remember, he'd go in for 5 minutes. The player gets thrown out for 5 minutes. Someone has to serve the penalty for 5 minutes, and should the power play team score, he does it. The penalty does not end. You can score as many times as you want during that 5-minute power play.
Sylvain Cote, who's had a fine year after scoring over 20 goals last season. Goal production of the Washington Capitals was fabulous last season, with Hatcher getting over 30, Iafrate over 20, Cote over 20. It's dropped down this season, but Cote has had a good year. Take a look at the only goal of this game. Brian Smolinski scored the shorthanded goal.
As they try and get things sorted out with the penalties and whatnot in Washington, we'll continue with our intermission report. When we come back, a look at scores and highlights from around the National Hockey League. Stick around.
NBA Showdown 94 for Sega Genesis and Super NES. If it's in the game, EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's a good one. Oh, hey, get them, man. No. No, man. I don't play.
Coast, the eye-opener. What more can we say?
It's nice to know that one phone call to a Farmers Insurance agent can cover home, auto, and life. So come in for a farmers-friendly review and make sure your insurance needs are covered, because you never know what could happen next. Dad! Farmers Insurance Group, for home, auto, and life.
Dear car owners, if you had a brake problem tomorrow, could you think of one brake specialist to go to? Where can you go for same-day brake service? A guarantee on brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. And the expertise of doing over 2 million brake jobs a year? Midas. Think of us as the brake specialists. We're pretty good at mufflers, too.
FIFA International Soccer for Sega Genesis. If it's in the game, EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome back once again, those of you watching the New York Rangers and the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to take a lolook at some scores and highlights now. We'll begin with Boston and Washington, a game we showed you some of just moments ago. They were trying to sort out some penalties, and Don Beaupre wasn't getting a lot of help from his team's power play, because the turnover here, and Fred Knipscher passes it to Brian Smolinski, who lets the shot go and beats Beaupre. It was 1-0 Boston on the shorthanded goal. They weren't done shorthanded, though. They would add another one by Adam Oates. Another turnover in the neutral ice zone. And Shaw feeds Adam Oates, who lets this one go into the wide-open net. And Boston leads 2-0. Both goals are shorthanded goals. That's where they stand right now. If you take a look at the Eastern Conference playoff race, very important matchup for the Boston Bruins as they try and at least hold on to that 5th spot. If the playoffs began today, they would face the Montreal Canadiens, who, of course, are their arch rival, and Montreal would have home ice advantage in that one. Florida right now is in the 8th position, tied with the Washington Capitals. Florida Panthers, an expansion team. What a story that would be if they managed to find their way in it. The Detroit Red Wings chasing the Toronto Maple Leafs for the top spot in the West, starting the day just 2 points behind them as they went against the Chicago Blackhawks. Sergei Fedorov doing it by himself here, beats Hackett on the nice move, 1-0. Detroit takes the lead, and then the turnover. Essensa mishandles the puck. Sutter comes up with it and finds Randy Cunneyworth, who has the entire open net to find, and slips it in there. Right now it stands at a 1-1 game. Randy Cunneyworth and Sergei Fedorov, as we just told you, has the goals there. Later on today in the National Hockey League, Los Angeles starting the day 8 points back with 10 games to play for the final playoff spot. Wayne Gretzky has never missed the playoffs. And the New York Islanders facing Buffalo right now. The Islanders are also on the outside looking in, trying to get their way into the playoffs. We'll be back with more in just a moment. But first, a reminder coming up on ABC Sports. Final round coverage of the first major of the year. Top players of the LPGA Tour take aim in Palm Springs, one of the most coveted crowns. It's the Dinah Shore. We will have that following hockey. Stick around. Plenty more to come here in the NHL on ABC.
For this guy, any deodorant will do. But these guys need Speed Stick. Antiperspirant that gives 110%, even if you don't. 24-hour protection against wetness. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick. For movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
Check this out. Larry favorite burger and Larry MVP cup from McDonald's. Now it's got to let me play one-on-one.
Now at McDonald's, get an MVP Collector Cup featuring some of the biggest NBA superstars free when you supersize any extra value meal for 39 cents more. Like Larry's favorite, the double quarter pounder with cheese. Hurry to McDonald's today and collect all 6.
Charles, this is for you. Hey, thanks. Now can I play? No.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. Here comes a whole new taste breakthrough. It's got less fat and better taste for you. Not a chip off the same old block. That's right. Got new Pringles right crisp. That's right. Less fat and better taste than this. Right. Better taste than let's grease the proofs right here you see. That's right. It's not a chip off the same old block. Pringles right crisp. The taste of here.
Saturday, the Pro Bowlers Tour revs up with the Split Fire Smart Plus Open. Then ABC's Wide World of Sports follows with a high-flying showcase of skates, skis, and suits. First, an elite international field meet in a stellar display of artistry and athletics. It's the pairs competition from the Duragolf Colors World Challenge of Champions. And the sports best look to shatter the record books of the World Ski Flying Championships. Plus, take off from 100 feet with high-diving daredevils. It's all Saturday here on ABC.
Welcome back to New York. We'll get you back out to your game in just a moment. But first, a look at who's hot and who's not in the National Hockey League. Nobody hotter than Jeremy Roenick in Chicago. 20 goals in his last 21 games, and the Devils 1 loss and 11 victories in their last 15. Who's not? Mark Messier. It's been 17 games since he has had a goal. Bob Essensa struggling as well, and the Bruins, losing their 2 stars, are going down. Next Sunday begins with more NHL action here on ABC. Live coverage of these regional matchups, including Boston and Pittsburgh. We'll be back after this word from our ABC stations.
What's the first thing you do if you got your own TV show? That's right, rub it in the faces of people who were mean to you in high school. Tina? Hi, Ellen DeGeneres here. Remember me? Oh, nothing much. Just got my own TV show on ABC. How about you? Neurosurgery, huh? No shame in that.
Ellen DeGeneres stars in These Friends of Mine, Tuesday and Wednesday, here on ABC.
The powerful, all-aluminum alloy engine in the Lexus ES is so incredibly quiet you can hear the cliche.
you have anything to fit me?
No offense, Mr. Jones, but you are a little on the small side.
I need more choices.
Harry, give me those genuine yellow pages. Look, choices. Italian, Greek, Chinese. You want more?
Those are restaurants.
That's right. You put some meat on those bones and come back and see us.
9 out of 10 use it.
Mexican, barbecue.
The genuine Val Atlantic Yellow Pages.
How about a smorgasbord?
Channel 7 wishes you a happy Passover.
The National Hockey League on ABC is brought to you by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And Mountain Dew. Get vertical with the power of Mountain Dew.
And welcome back to Winnipeg as the Jets and the New York Rangers have played one, and it is scoreless. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Elmore Gaddy, delighted to have you with us here on ABC. New York Rangers, as we mentioned, made some big trades at the trading deadline, acquiring the likes of Glenn Anderson, Brian Noonan, Stephane Matteau, and Craig McTavish. Big pickups.
Gary, I was second-guessing myself for a while because as soon as the trades were made, I thought great pickups for the New York Rangers. I picked up papers in the New York area, and they all said Rangers panicked. You know, at the deadline, they were in first place anyway. Everybody that I've spoken to in the hockey world, including Wayne Gretzky, has said tremendous pickups for the New York Rangers. Glenn Anderson, one of the top playoff scorers ever. Stephane Matteau and Brian Noonan from Chicago, big guys. Craig McTavish, good on the faceoffs. The Rangers haven't had a bona fide, top-notch faceoff guy in 10 years. Now, just before the playoffs begin, they bring in guys not only that have championship rings, but to satisfy a lot of the holes and needs that the Rangers had. I think, to a deal, they were terrific.
Certainly one of the reasons why the New York press and fans question is because Mike Gartner and Tony Amonte are two great people and were really liked by Ranger fans.
Well, Neil Smith, the general manager, told us in the last couple of days that they were hard trades to make, especially the one from Mike Gartner because he's such a solid citizen. But when you can bring in Glenn Anderson, who loves the clutch. I mean, this guy plays in the clutch, and you can bring in the size of Stephane Matteau so that the Rangers play better along the wall, better along the boards. Those are deals that are tough to make, but when you're going for the cup, those are deals that you have to make.
Man who can make some deals on his own, Elmore Gaddy.
Thanks, guys. Well, I think if you look at this, you see definitely this is Mike Keenan's team. You know, when he took over with Neil Smith, a lot of people thought, hey, can Keenan and Neil Smith get along? Hey, they're getting along great. He went after everybody Keenan wanted. In fact, he wanted Dirk Graham as captain in Chicago. Neil Smith went after him hard, couldn't get him. Got two pretty good players out of Chicago, so I think everything's working well there. The real reason they make all the trades, hey, that's New York, and there's all kinds of pressure in New York. Want to see it? Well, any newspaper in New York, there you have Ranger Roulette on the day of the trade. And if you can look real hard, all the numbers on the roulette wheel, now this is real mean. 1940, guys.
Well, Al, there's not much pressure here in Winnipeg. As a matter of fact, the only pressure for a lot of people is finding Winnipeg. When I leave home every time, my wife says, where is Winnipeg again? Where is Winnipeg? Well, the easiest way to describe it is this. You see Winnipeg is just about dead center of the country. You see New York on the right. The easiest way to get to Winnipeg is this. Head to Minneapolis and then continue north, 394 miles. You see some of the other distances from all of those major cities, but you got to go through Minneapolis pretty well to get here.
And what a great place if you like to hunt and fish. A magnificently beautiful Manitoba. We're ready to go second period. Messier out with Steen on the face-off, and we're underway. A scoreless first. Shots were 8-7 in favor of the New York Rangers. The Jets ended up going 0 for on the power play, 0 for 3, and the Rangers went 0 for 1. Either converting and a double minor to Messier gave a 4-minute power play to the Jets during that period where they did not get a shot off in those 4 minutes. Steen will rush it up ice, Romanek with him. Back for Romanek, paid by Shannon, knocked away Messier. Graves bumps it. Shannon moved in to pick it up, couldn't get it. And it comes to center ice, Manson. Manson able to scoop it away, but a whistle on the near side. Somebody holding a stick. Schick has picked up the call, and it'll be a power play coming up for the Rangers.
You know, the New York Rangers were interested in the man you saw, Dave Manson. Mike Keenan would not have minded having him on the team, but he loved the deals that Neil Smith made at the trading deadline. Mike Keenan, as Al Morganti said, now it's Mike Keenan's team. Mike is a changed guy this year, Gary. When he coached the Chicago Blackhawks, he had so much more structure than he has now. And for that matter, this team hardly practices. They're in shape. They have high-tempo practices when they do. They're a veteran team. They know how to play. Mike, really smartly, I think, is avoiding over-coaching this team of veterans.
And he has not done that this season. Shannon picks up the penalty, holding the stick at 34 seconds into this second period.
So the Rangers go back on the power play. Manson clears it out of the zone. Ryan Bozak and Pierre Ossico are the linesmen, working with Rob Schick in this game. Schick from British Columbia. Knocks away Kachuk. Almost short-handed chance. Noonan clears it out. Got it up 2-on-1. Messier, nope, and offside. Two-line pass. And the face-off comes all the way back into the other zone.
You know, we talked in the first period about Adam Graves' 50th goal the other night in Edmonton. Mark Messier, believe it or not, before that game, told more than one person, I am on a mission. Adam Graves will score his 50th goal in this hockey game. How many guys are there, do you think, can say that and then go out and deliver? Who assisted on Adam Graves' 50th goal? Mark Messier.
Sometimes you just know. Gretzky the other night knew he was going to score, and Adam Graves picking up that goal, 50 and 51 for the New York Rangers. You have the feeling in your bones sometimes as athletes, and he did.
As long as you feel it in the legs and the hands.
That's right. Messier brings it back up for the Rangers. Zubov, power play. Zubov, save! Rebound deflected, not out. Zubov held it in. He has got a cannon out there over to Leach. Leach, Zubov. They've got Noonan set up in front of the net. Messier playing it on the wide boards. Just held that in. Messier along the blue line. It's got to come entirely out to the offside. That one wide by Zubov. Noonan plays it back to the point. A minute left on the Ranger power play. Leach and Zubov. Brian Leach. Zubov in the middle. Try to go cross ice. Kentau was there and cleared it out of the zone. Leach comes back to get it. Down to 47 on this Ranger advantage. Graves to Leach. Leach the rush. Leach in. Leach! The shot! Save made and deflected wide on the rebound. Tim Cheveldae with Leach right on him. Zubov is open. The shot! Save again, Cheveldae, and a whistle, and another penalty coming up in front of the net. A high sticking call on the Winnipeg Jets is going to give the Rangers a two-man advantage for 32 seconds.
Wow, one Ranger that's really turned it up a notch in the last couple of weeks is Brian Leach. What a terrific move here. Touch pass from Adam Graves. Watch Leach go to the outside, and that pulls Manson number 3 out. You got to create your own room between two defensemen, and that's exactly what Leach did. Hey, 10 bells for Tim Cheveldae. That was a great save. Leach had him going the wrong way, too. Look at that. He had to make it with the left pad. I mean, 1-on-2. If you've got a good enough move to spread the D-men apart and then get back to the hole, you are in an elite group, and that is Brian Leach.
There you see Brian Leach, fourth among defensemen in scoring this season. 20 goals, 54 assists. He is second on this team in power play goals. He has 15. Adam Graves has 20. And now a two-man advantage as Kentau goes in the high stick. You get 202. Look at the numbers on this Ranger power play. That's a lot of power play goals, and you add the 20 shorthanded they've picked up. That's where we told you they have plus 47 on their specialty teams. Zubov brings it in. 20 on the two-man. Graves the shot. Deflected by Manson. Held in by Messier. 15 on the two-man advantage. Messier back to Leach. Leach. Zubov. Leach. One-timer deflected wide off Kachuk's stick. Keith Kachuk finds the open ice. That will do it. Two-man advantage is now over. Still a minute 28 on the power play for the Rangers. Zubov in. Zubov the shot. Great save. Cheveldae reaching behind him.
Well, if you've seen Sergei Zubov play this year, you know what a rocket he has. And he launched one at Timmy Cheveldae. And this is the most confident I've seen Tim Cheveldae in about a year and a half. We talked about him getting out of Detroit because he had to. The crowd booed him every game. They're cheering him here because of saves like this one. Oh, it's a terrific save. And Tim Cheveldae has said in the last couple of days, what a treat it has been and a confidence booster to have people actually give you an ovation after the game. That happened to Tim Cheveldae in his first 3 starts here. He won them all.
Even before the game's nice. Why are you going out for warm-ups?
Even to not get booed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which he did in Detroit. There was a faction, a group of people, no matter what Tim Cheveldae did in Detroit, they would boo him. This is a nice situation for him in a sense. Yeah, everybody wants to play on a team that's a contender, but there is not much pressure on Tim Cheveldae here right now, and this is the time now, down the stretch, the last 10 games for the Jets, he's got to get his confidence back. Pretty simple.
He'll be playing a lot. 26-year-old Mike O'Neill is the backup goaltender for John Paddock's team, but he believes Cheveldae is his man for the future in net. Still a minute 20 on the Ranger power play. Zubov, who's got that great cannon shot, sends that one wide. Larmer was trying to set up in front of the net. Matteau is in front now. Tekkanen working at the top. Kovalev takes the shot, blocked. That hurt. Ulanoff. Ulanoff blocked it with the back of the glove. Limer lets that one go. Kovalev, Limer, and Mateau in the power play unit. Limer, Kovalev. That's Ticketum. Kovalev moving in. They look in front from Mateau. Hope checked away by Manson. Nice job by Manson to get that out of there. Banging going on in front. Mateau setting the screen. Kovalev scores! What a shot! Alexei Kovalev, a power play goal. 1-0 Rangers.
That is an incredible shot. A wrist shot from there absolutely blew by Tim Cheveldae, and the hardest place to hit when you're aiming is short side high. In this case, it's right up over Tim Cheveldae's left shoulder, but look, he's given room. He backs Manson off with the fake and then step to the circle. I gotta see this again. I still can't believe he scored on this. A wrist shot, rip job, right up over Tim Cheveldae. I'm not sure that he was screened. I think Mateau was to the side.
Wow. He's only 21 years old, coming over from Dynamo Moscow in the Soviet Elite League and the Unified Olympic Team. This is really just his second full season with the New York Rangers, and it's a power play goal. And the Rangers take a 1-0 lead as Kovalev picks it up on a great shot.
What do you think Mike Keenan was diagramming for him with his pencil over there on the bench? But next time I want you to shoot low to the thick side
I want
or
you
what?
to come closer to the post on your next shot. Kovalev 17th from Limer and Ticketon on the power play, and the Rangers 1-0, 3:17 the time of the goal. Leach back for Vukovic. Over to Leach. He's trying to send it up ice, intercepted. Fanned on by Kennedy. Kennedy dropped it into the zone. Leach right there to knock it down. Being bothered by Tomlinson, who moved up on it. A good hit put on near side as King went down on the ice, and a penalty coming up. Delayed call on the Rangers. Extra skater coming out for the Jets, but not in time. It'll be an interference call, and the Winnipeg Jets, down a goal, have the power play coming up.
Pardon me, where are you going with all that Bud Light?
For the Lee family reunion.
Then I'm here for the Lee family reunion.
You're a member of the Lee family.
Yes, I am.
Right this way.
你是李中的老大。Sure, I just sure.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
你真有点像他。
A lot of champagne glasses have been used to prove how smooth a car can be at high speed. Surely, a toast is in order for a truck that can do the same. New Dodge Ram, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
We'll see the puck sliding up the boards against the yellow kick plate. That's why this penalty was called. Watch Brian Noonan on Chris King. Boom, he crashes him into the boards. Yeah, that far away from the play, it's interference. So now, the Jets on the power play. I'm not sure we can call it a power play. They have had 3 power plays in this game. They are over 3 on the power. They don't have a shot yet.
They'll try it here. Manson's got a shot. Save made by Healy. Rebound Emerson in front. Kachuk took the shot. And again, Healy was there. 1-0 lead. Rangers. Messier short-handed. Messier from Graves. Messier! Save made by Cheveldae. Mark Messier going for the short-handed goal as Adam Graves fed him, and there was no Jet near him. And Cheveldae came up big. Graves kicks it back deeper. Bukaboom sends it out, and there's Messier heading up ice again. That forced Cheveldae out to play it. Rangers change up on the penalty-killing unit. Power play underway here for the Jets. 1:20 left on their advantage. Shannon overskated. Kachuk comes back to get it. Heath Kachuk working on the power play unit in the middle. Zubov banged by Shannon. Nice hit. Shannon freed that puck up with that hit. Gets it back from Emerson. Can't play it. Kachuk moves over on low. Backed it up near side for Emerson. Emerson looking in the middle. Nobody there. McBean deep. McBean to Emerson. Nelson Emerson. They're looking weak side for Manson here, but Manson can't get in close enough. Shot by McBean. No. Pass shot deflected by Shannon over the net. Tried to get a backhander off and didn't get much of it. Messier for the Rangers. Rangers still short-handed. Messier ran it out through the middle. Winnipeg Jets in the middle of a line change, short-handed. Craig McTavish. McTavish the move, the shot, save Cheveldae. Craig McTavish McTavish, the second shorthanded chance on this power play. Emerson the other way, and the Rangers are back.
You know what's so amazing about the Rangers' penalty killings? Yes, they take chances, but they never get caught out of position because they're smart chances.
Glenn Anderson, did he ever come into that pile? Now he drops the gloves, wants to go, and will with Russ Romanek. Veteran Glenn Anderson, the 33-year-old in his 14th NHL season, came into that pile and just banged the whole cadoodle.
And that is one of the elements that the New York Rangers have when they acquired Glenn Anderson. He is, a lot of players think he's one of the dirtiest players in the game, but I don't care what you call him. I know this. I played against him for 3 years. He's not much fun to play against. You never know when he's going to sting you. You turn your head the wrong way. That's what started all right here. That's Russ Romanek. Yeah, gangway. There came Glenn Anderson.
And then he didn't hesitate to drop the gloves.
And that's why he dropped the gloves, because Romanek plowed him. And before that, on the short end, I was talking about the Rangers' penalty killing. They've got veteran guys that know when to. They've got the when-to factor built in. They don't just run around looking for shorthanded goals. When it's time to go, they go. And that's what Craig McTavish did on that play. That's what Messier did on his breakaway.
There you see McTavish, one of the veterans, picked up. He's won 3 Stanley Cups, 5 years in Boston, 8+ years with Edmonton. And there's Glenn Anderson. Why the trade with Mike Gartner gone? It's playoff toughness. He has the 4th most points in playoff history in the National Hockey League, the 3rd most goals, the 5th most assists, and 5 rings.
What's so interesting, Gary, is you see the top 2 names, Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier, and then you see Yari Curry, number 3 on the points, Glenn Anderson 4th. To me, it's the goals that they got Glenn Anderson for. It's not the overall points. They want a clutch scorer. Wayne Gretzky and Yari Curry are the 1-2 guys scoring, and everybody knows them as a big 1-2 unit. Messier and Anderson were the 2nd best 1-2 combo punch in the NHL, but they played in Gretzky and Curry's shadow in Edmonton for all those years. Here's Mark Messier's chance. This play will start with an Adam Graves interception when it gets out to the point. Watch how smart Graves is. He gets it here. He knows it's going to be a 2-line pass. He waits till he's across the blue line so there will not be a 2-line pass. And Mark Messier tried the old 5-hole move on Chevrolet. Watch this move. You really have to move the puck a lot from left to right to get the goaltender to spread his pads apart. And I'm not sure Mess did that far enough or wide enough to get Chevrolet's pads apart.
Good play by Chevrolet to make the save. Our Bud Light scoreboard. Games in the National Hockey League that are underway today. Detroit, with that great offense, leading Chicago at Chicago Stadium. It's been a very rough game there. We've already had a couple of fights. Boston, that's 2 shorthanded goals. Smolinski and Oates have picked those up for Boston. You see Dallas, Tampa Bay, the other games going on in the National Hockey League. A 2-man advantage now for the Jets, but only for 10 more seconds. Anderson got a double minor for elbow and roughing. Romanek got 2 for roughing. 4 seconds on the 2-man advantage for the Jets. That's batted into the seats. And 1 second remains on the 2-man advantage. Those are all night games, and the New Jersey Devils will be watching this one, and probably are. They're going to play in Minneapolis. They get a chance to tie the Rangers, only 2 behind them. Coming up next, ABC Sports presents the final round coverage of golf's most major event of the year. The top players of the LPGA Tour taking aim in Palm Springs for one of the most coveted crowns from California. It's the Nabisco Dinah Shore coming up next here on ABC Sports.
We mentioned the New York Rangers heading home, Gary, after a Tuesday game in Philadelphia. This will be their last plane ride of the regular season. They've got 8 games left, but they are all local. They've got 1 on Long Island against the Islanders. They've got 1 in New Jersey. They've got 1 in Philadelphia, and that's busing distance for the New York Rangers. Heck, depending on who they play in the first round, they might not climb onto a plane for another month.
That's right. And they're kind of hoping that, I think, because if they do get on a plane, they may be headed to Florida. 1:30 left on this power play for the Jets. The Rangers are leading it by a score of 1-0. Kovalev at .317 on the power play from Lammer and Tikkanen has given the Rangers the lead, and the Jets have struggled on their power play. Leach shorthanded again for the Rangers. Graves the trailer. Leach wide on the short side. Rebound comes back to Shannon. Darren Shannon, who's been red hot, Tkachuk is right side. Keith Tkachuk, 1-1.
Oh, what a terrific player. Keith Tkachuk is an all-around player. He wears the C because he's a leader. He's a banger. He's 215 pounds. And can he score? Yahoo! I mean, Glenn Healy, forget about it. Healy did not have a chance on this one. When you ding it off the post, it's going to take a miracle for it not to go in. Watch this one. Tkachuk moving in. He took a peek. He was looking at it all the way. Bingo off the post. May have fanned on it a little bit, it looked like, but he got it off the post and in. I love this guy. To me, he's one of the top 5 power left wingers in the game today.
He had 24 goals at the same point last season. That is his 38th goal of the year and his 76th point. Keith Tkachuk. And it has tied this game up, and it is a power play goal against the best penalty-killing team in the National Hockey League, the New York Rangers. Kevin Lowe from behind his own net. It is 1 of 1. Mateau cleared it out the center. Ulanoff couldn't get it. Korolev does. Got hooked down by Emerson, and a penalty coming up. It'll be on the Jets on that hook. And the New York Rangers will go right back on the power play. The score, Jets and Rangers 1 apiece.
Where there was once only a place to sit, there's now a convenient place to relax. Where there was once only unusable space, there's now an ingenious storage system of interchangeable bins, trays, and cargo netting. Where there was once only upholstery, there's now a place for an office. And where there was once only a truck, there's now Dodge Ram, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me. And there's no place that I'd rather be. Come on along and head for the mountains of Bush. Here, head for the mountains. It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush.
Dave Tomlinson, the 24-year-old, wearing number 11, been a tough day for him. He was just called up for the game. We mentioned he wasn't even listed on the roster sheet. He's been in the box a couple of times today.
Well, Keith Tkachuk might bail him out. I mentioned that he's one of my top 5 left-wing power forwards in the league. I add Adam Graves to that list, Kevin Stevens from Pittsburgh, Gary Roberts, Calgary, and to me, the number 1 guy, Brendan Shanahan, top left-wing power forward in the NHL.
Oh, having great years. Rangers on a power play. Tkachuk short-handed. Leach moves in on him. Tkachuk, the shot just goes over the net. Leach blocked it and almost ended up having it go off his stick and in. Zubov the other way. Power play for the Jets. A 1-1 game. The Rangers, rather, on the power play. Rangers have picked up 8 power play goals. Leach at the blue line. Deflected. Oh, Larmer wants that one back. He had the whole net to shoot at, and he tipped it wide. Zubov held it in. Jets cleared out of the zone.
Yeah, it was also like trying to catch a .22 bullet with your fingers, though. I mean, that was a rocket from Brian Leach. It was an intended pass. It was 4 feet wide. Larmer did well to even get a stick on it.
Had it going in the right direction. Zubov for the Rangers. 12 minutes to go here in the second period. 1-1 game. Kovalev the move in as Manson got the stick up on him. Centered! Wide of the net, Messier. Chevrolet was there cutting across, Leach back. Messier can't handle it. Manson is seeing a ton of ice time. Bats it out of the zone. All the way down on Glenn Healy. Healy making just his 16th start of the season. In net here, 4-6-1 lifetime against the Jets. Emerson short-handed. Messier batted it away. Leach had to step up. And Healy again had to play the puck to Leach. 30 seconds in the Ranger advantage. Graves. Manson goes over to get it. Manson looking for some room, found it. Kevin Lowe just came off the bench. Emerson had moved up on him. Messier forced the other way by Stepan Quintal. 14 on the Ranger power play. Messier's pass got it away. Thomas Steen. Steen coming. Shot and a save made into the corner. Good opportunity to get penalty killers. Dallas Drake. Ulanoff. Save! Rebound! Dallas Drake! Short-handed goal!
Dallas Drake made this baby happen by himself by starting with a huge hit in the corner. He deserves a lot of credit for the goal, and he deserves a goal because of this one. Healy to the corner. Watch Drake on Zubov. Boom! Out of the way, and as soon as Drake had help, watch him from the right of your screen, right to the net. And I think one of the reasons Glenn Healy couldn't control the first shot is Dallas Drake appeared to tip it on the way to Healy. Yep, there's the tip, so it was a monster for Healy to try and control. And then Dallas Drake with his own rebound. That is a great chip and a good example of what happens when you take the body. If you hit, something good always happens.
That is the second shorthanded goal of the season for Dallas Drake. The penalty now expires. There is only 1 second left on it. The Jets have taken a 2-1 lead. And for the Rangers, only the 5th shorthanded goal scored against them. That's the best in the National Hockey League. Ulanoff sends it back to center. LeBlanc came over to get it. Rolled through the middle. The Jets fired up and a penalty behind the play. Joey Koser and Ulanoff. Winnipeg, where we are. The Jets lead at 2-1.
If you demand more from an aftershave than that same old alcohol burn, you need more than the same old aftershave. Sensitive from Old Spice. It's alcohol-free because alcohol burns. That's why they took it out and put these cooling Sensate scents. For real refreshment to go with that great scent. It's proof aftershave doesn't have to hurt to work. So use Sensitive, or you might get burned. Take the heat out of aftershave. Demand proof. Try alcohol-free Sensitive from Old Spice.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Bob. How's it going, man?
How's it going, man?
Great. Game's almost done. Got any Bud Light? Sorry, I'm fresh out.
Fresh out. Fresh out.
Well, I'm out of here.
Hide the Bud Light. Joe's coming over. Hide the Bud Light.
Big Mouth. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Come on, where'd you hide the Bud Light?
It's in the garage. In the garage.
Well, there's the goal scorer for the Winnipeg Jets, Dallas Drake. He has made it a 2-1 hockey game, and now Igor Ulanov has picked up a penalty for the Jets. He took a swat at Joey Koser and has to sit till the Rangers' dangerous power play is back out there.
9:19, they timed the penalty on Ulanov, and the New York Rangers, down a goal, have the advantage. In front, Manson batted it up in the air and swatted out of the zone by Quintal. Drake's shorthanded goal, the 11th of the season, came at 8:58. 2 shorthanded goals this year. And Ulanov had the assist. The other goal, Kachuk for the Jets. The only score for the Rangers, Kovalev, at 3:17 on a power play. Kachuk. He's got a man with him. Shot just wide of the net. Dallas Drake again. Great chances down low as Healy came across on the second shot. The Jets playing better short-handed. Kovalev in. Rangers try and get it set up. Zubov will be working out at the point. Near side, nobody was on the boards, and across the way, Kovalev is down on the ice, and I did not see what happened.
I didn't either, but Rob Chick, the referee, he put his arm up for a penalty immediately, and Kovalev is in a lot of pain. I mean, it looked like he was holding his wrist to me. See how he's shaking his arm? I mean, I'll take a stab at a flash, but it's absolutely unconfirmed because it was on the far side of the ice. I did not see it.
We'll check to see how it happened. Right now, let's check in with John.
Gary and Bill will get you updated now on Detroit and Chicago. Keith Primo parked on the doorstep. Just has to slip this one home. 2-1 right now is where they stand. Back to Gary and Bill.
Kovalev is still down on the ice as trainer's out to take a look at that wrist. Boy, the Rangers are really upset about whatever it was.
Kovalev, you know, we mentioned Leach as having really come on in the last 2 weeks. The guy that's come on the farthest and the most for the New York Rangers is the guy that's hurt right now, Alexei Kovalev. He has absolutely been on fire, a tremendous all-around player in the last couple of weeks.
You hear the Winnipeg Jets, what they're saying is give him an award. They're saying he's faking it.
We'll see what it looks like, and we'll decide whether it's an Academy Award or a Purple Heart. Well, you know what? That swat by Keith Kachuk happens 10, 20, 30 times a game. It was an innocent kind of swat. I mean, everybody swats like that with their stick. But you can see from the angle of the swat, that it came from behind Kovalev's glove. And if you look at your wrist, anybody sitting watching, look at your wrist. You see that bone that's on the backhand side of your wrist? Well, that's kind of open. There's no glove there. Watch. He's going to hit him on the back side of the wrist here. Boom. So look at the outside of your wrist, and you got a bone that sticks up there. I bet you that's what got hit because there's no protection on the back side of the glove.
Manson is really upset because it is a 5-minute major.
Oh, he should be upset, Gary.
A 5-minute major, and Manson is out of the penalty box here to go to the dressing room. And Rob Schick's the referee he's arguing with. And he is really upset, and the Jets make sure they get 2 or 3 players between Manson and Schick.
Yeah, I thought it had been Keith Kachuk that had swatted, but it was Dave Manson. And that's a routine swat.
Look at him right at the Ranger bench.
That's Koser, too.
Jaw to jaw with Joey Koser.
Now, Ty Domi of the Winnipeg Jets, who along with Manson, the resident tough guys, Ty Domi said Joey Koser is the best fighter in the NHL, bar none. He is one scary human being. He said that this morning before this tilt. But we're not going to see any action between Koser and Dave Manson because Manson appears to be out of here.
And there's another penalty being picked up here. A misconduct has just been charged to somebody on the bench as Rob Schick pointing towards the Ranger bench.
Domi must just be serving the penalty.
Domi's going to serve the penalty that was picked up by Manson, but Schick has called another one. And I think it is on Joey Koser. Now Mike Keenan is arguing with a linesman on the far side. And Schick saying, get somebody over here. And Keenan's now hollering at Rod Schick. There's Koser. He won't let him go. He keeps Koser down on the bench.
That's a pretty smart move. He might kind of take a detour on the way to the penalty box.
There's Joey Koser, and now he's got to go. Schick comes over to get him. Rob Schick was saying, let's go.
Well, here's part of the argument between Manson and Koser. You're a puppy. You're a puppy. I don't know, Dave. He might be a puppy to you, but he ain't no puppy to me.
Now the Jets lead 2-1. Schick's still over there telling Keenan to get behind the bench. Al Morganti. Al's down at ice level.
He insists he did not slash hard enough to get a 5-minute penalty, that Kovalev just went down on the ice and kind of gave him an acting job, and they're mostly upset about the acting job, that it should in no way warranted the 5-minute penalty. Well, maybe just pumping up.
The
really think they were right, guys.
Shovelday, rebound back for Leach. This is a 2-man advantage now for the New York Rangers for 55 seconds. Shot by Leach wide. Messier, the shot hit the side of the net. Graves came over to get it, batted near side. 2-man advantage for the Rangers. Zubov, a double minor, has got a 5-minute major, rather, went up on the board on Manson. Leach waiting, dropped it, hit, saved by Shovelday as that's a ticket in. Tipped it in on net.
I'll agree with Dave Manson that swat did not warrant a 5-minute major penalty. But I won't agree that it was an acting job. Anybody that's ever hit that little bone that I was talking about on the side of your wrist, anybody that ever nicked it or got it hit hard enough knows how much pain you're in. And obviously a swat like that from Dave Manson is enough to send anybody into a whole bunch of pain. Now the Rangers came close on this one. Brian Lee lit his head up all the way. This is a deflectable shot. He is not trying to score. He's trying for a deflection, and Brian Noonan to the side of the net wanted to get it airborne. Shovelday full marks. Down and waiting for it, completely covered the side of the net.
He's playing a strong game. Shovelday again, the save on Zubov. When Zubov shoots that puck, it gets to the net as quick as any shot I've ever seen. Messier deflected by Kachuk, who clears. Now the reason Manson went to the dressing room, he also picks up a game misconduct along with that 5-minute major for slashing. So he has gone for the game. Larmer in. Messier's got it. Messier looking to the middle. Still a 2-man advantage. 5 seconds. Leach shot, save. Rebound. Messier can't get it off. Leach shot, deflected in front. Hit off Shannon. Now a 5-on-4. Ulanoff out of the penalty box. Still 3:47 left on this power play for the Rangers. The Jets are leading it by a score of 2-1, and it's Opened up here in the second period. Larmer trying to run it in. Drake is there to clear it out.
Now this will take a tremendous effort from the Jets. They are on top of their game now, but they have just lost their workhorse on defense. They're undermanned anyway because Teppo Newman is gone. He is their top defenseman. Manson is their workhorse. He's gone now.
Esa Tikkanen tried to get it down the middle, taken off by Quintal and cleared by the Jets. Then Healy at the other end. The shots are now 20-12 in favor of the Rangers. They had been even through the first half of this game. Esa Tikkanen in. Drops it for Stepan Matteau. He lets it go near side Zubov. Now the Jets are coming out playing the puck here. Tikkanen back into the corners. They look out in front. They've got Matteau set up in front of the net. Noonan working from behind it. Anderson comes in front as well. Zubov back. Ulanoff blocked the pass and cleared out of the zone by Quintal. Back to get it goes Zubov. Both teams over the benches changing it up. 2:40 left on this 5-minute power play for the Rangers. Noonan brings it in. Noonan. Glenn Anderson sets the pick for him. Back for Leach. Down low for Anderson. Off for Matteau. Intercepted. Good play by Matteau to get it back. Batted at by Shannon. Shannon working with Stepan Quintal there. Esa Tikkanen holds it in the zone. 2:18 on the Ranger power play. Glenn Anderson back for Tikkanen. Now the Jets drop back in the box. Leach. His shot deflected wide. Ryan Noonan over to get it. Held in front. Good play by Matteau to Leach. Back into Noonan. Noonan trying to set it up. Glenn Anderson shot blocked. Dallas Drake cleared.
Yeah, the last 3 times the Rangers have had the puck back at the point, they've almost seemed reluctant to shoot because of the amount of traffic in front. Not only their guys, but Winnipeg guys.
Offside, Craig McTavish. Let's go back down and visit with Al Morganti.
Thanks, Gary. And behind the Winnipeg bench, and to get a sense that if they kill this penalty off, they're really going to think they have some momentum here. They thought they were robbed in that call, as I mentioned. I spoke with Dave Manson, thinks it was a total acting job, and the Winnipeg Jets reacting like, hey, if we get this thing off, we've got the Rangers and we've got some momentum, we're going to hang on. Guys?
He didn't think that he hit him very hard then, did he, Al? I mean,
no, he didn't think he hit him that hard, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm talking to a guy who's got a vested interest, Bill.
And it ends up being, of course, the major because you get the intent to injure was involved in that as well with a 5-minute major for slashing.
So it's stick-related. We're trying to find out just what Dave Manson's got on the on his rap sheet this year as far as stick-related majors and game misconduct, because your second one is accompanied by a 1-game suspension, and then every one after that you add a game of the suspension.
Leach sends it in. Ulanoff back to get it. 1:40 on the Ranger power play. But the penalty killers of the Winnipeg Jets are getting it done right now. They are ranked 23rd in the league coming into this game and killing off penalties. A drop from 11th place last year. You would know they were 23rd the way they played it here today. And they have scored a short-handed goal. Tkachuk puts the hook on. Zubov looked back for a call. It's cleared out. Leach. Zubov still looking over at Chick. Leach gets hooked by Tkachuk again. Over to McTavish. McTavish to Graves. Graves, Leach. Leach trying to get it back to Graves. Goes to Messier instead. Messier, McTavish, and Graves up front. Zubov to Messier. Mark Messier, one-timer. Zubov off McTavish's stick. Leach behind the net with him. Ryan Leach has got it. 55 on the power play. A 5-minute power play for the Rangers. Zubov. The Jets are leading 2-1. Zubov's pass goes all the way in. Ulanoff and Graves. Fans wanted to call as Graves had a haul off and would let go. Messier back up. Zubov. Here's the cannon. Deflected in front. Ulanoff went down. Rebounded by Messier. Messier's got Graves and McTavish and Leach all in front of the net as Leach snuck up. Good hold in by Zubov. Lost it and cleared by Quintal.
When Messier tried to pass it out to Leach, it just nipped the back of the net and jumped over Leach's stick. That was a dangerous play for the Rangers. They almost got caught.
Fans will be applauding in 20 seconds here. That's how much time's remaining on this short-handed situation for the Jets. Tikkanen got it in. Down low, Matteau. Chevrolet the save. Rebound came free, and it's cleared out of the zone by Daryl Shannon.
Well, how about this ovation? A lot of people are standing. This is a standing O, not only for the penalty killers, but Tim Chevrolet, who backstopped this big kill.
5-minute major, and the Rangers do not convert. Brian Noonan, saved by Chevrolet, and they'll cheer it again.
Classic television.
Hogan's Heroes.
Green Acres.
Arnold Zoo. Who played him?
Nobody. He was the pig. Remember Family Affair?
Mr. French. I loved him. He's attractive.
Pete, Link, Julie. Okay, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Ginger was a bimbo.
Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Jeannie?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Jeannie.
Crisp, clean, classic.
We labored to make the new Dodge Ram the standard for quietness in a pickup. We triple sealed the doors. We coated the hinges with friction-reducing material. And to help eliminate wind noise, we even came up with a special sound-deadening antenna cover. As pleasant and comfortable as our new truck is, we just couldn't allow it to whistle while it works. New Dodge Ram, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Well, Tim Shovelday is at the moment the man for the Winnipeg Jets. Another terrific save at the tail end of the New York Rangers power play. It's a ticket and just let this one go through to Stéphane Matteau. No sweat for Shovelday. The Rangers cleared the puck high off the glass, almost went into the Rangers bench right after that. Mike Keenan had to duck.
Tim Shovelday and Dallas Drake both figuring big in this game, acquired from Detroit for Bob Essensa and Sergei Bautin in the deal that took place on March 8th. And they've played big here for the Jets. Shannon sends it in, and the Jets finally at even strength here. Ty Domi in the corner, jammed up by Esa Tikkanen, but he held the puck in. Jets are leading it by a score of 2-1. Kovalev has the Ranger goal. Shannon the shot, saved by Healy. Wilkeboom can't get it out. Shannon again. Ends up behind the net. Esa Tikkanen doing battle with Thomas Steen. They're two great veterans playing it tough. Tkachuk at 6:39 and Drake shorthanded at 8:58 here in the second have given the Winnipeg Jets the 2-1 lead with 4 minutes left to go in this period. Shots, though, are 23-13 in favor of the Rangers, largely because they've had those power play chances. Tkachuk, the good hit. Barsano held it in. Wilkeboom can't get it away from Tkachuk. He is tough, and he sent it Emerson, but it went over his stick. Another penalty coming up, and it's on the Rangers. A holding call because of the good work by the Jets down low, and they will have a power play.
Boy, is Keith Tkachuk a power forward? I mean, Jeff Wilkeboom couldn't hold him. And Jeff Wilkeboom is the biggest Ranger at 6'5", 225 pounds. And Keith Tkachuk just out-muscled him to the net.
6'2", 210-pounder out of Melrose, Mass. on the U.S. Olympic team back in '92.
That's the same corner Dallas Drake had his hit for the goal. You see, we talked about good things happening. Well, Tkachuk banged Wilkeboom off the puck, and at one point Wilkeboom had control, only to lose control to Keith Tkachuk, and then Tkachuk just outlegged him, and Wilkeboom couldn't hold him. Well, he held him, but couldn't hold him legally.
Only 22 years old, played a year of college at BU. BU with a great college hockey team this year that he's been following in the NCAA playoffs.
And as far as an American audience, he has been buried up here in Winnipeg, but people around the NHL know Keith Tkachuk is one of the top power forwards. He's easily in the top 5 left-wing power forwards.
Wilkeboom is gone. 16-21 for holding. There you see the 1 for 5 on the power play. Big chance here, though, for the Winnipeg Jets to extend this lead with 3:39 to go in the second period. Thomas Steen will work the power play. Great to have you with us here on ABC on coverage of the National Hockey League. 6 consecutive Sundays. In front, Steen trying to run it in. Shot, and it went off the post. Shannon hit the post with that rebound shot. Glenn Healy had no chance to see that shot. Steen moves over. Shannon and Zuboff do battle. Tkachuk behind the net. Leach took it away. Rangers are shorthanded. Up to the point. Good play to get back McBean. Steen drops it down low. Shannon cutting to the net. Back to Steen. Thomas Steen. 1:20 on the power play. Steen and Tkachuk playing tic-tac. McBean, the shot wide. He was trying to hit Shannon. Shannon's shot was blocked by Leach and cleared. Tim Shovelday. Teams both change it up on the fly. Minute 3 left on the advantage for the Jets. McBean will be working a point here with Stefan Quintal. Romanek brings it up. Dumps it in. Healy back to get it. Healy drops it for Craig McTavish. McTavish, and it's cleared out of the zone by Glenn Anderson. 44 in the advantage. Crowd has had a lot to cheer about here. in this second period for their Winnipeg Jets, who fell behind 1-0 early in the period. Now lead it 2-1. Romanov, 30 on the power play. Drake, who has a short-handed goal. Drake trying to get it to LeBlanc in front. Great stick handling. Drake gets it there. It's deflected by LeBlanc. Shot McBean. He just missed it wide. The toe was hanging on to him from behind. Back to Quintal. Stefan Quintal drops it off for Drake. 13 on the power play. Quintal saved by Healy. 10 seconds left on the Jets power play. Our Bud Light scoreboard keeping you up to date on the other games going on in the National Hockey League today. And most of them being covered by ABC. Detroit, better off picking up one. They've got the lead in that one. Boston, 3 short-handed goals. Do you believe that? Islanders need points desperately now if they're going to make a run at it. So does Los Angeles. Philadelphia had a big loss last night to New Jersey, 7-2, putting a real crimp in their playoff bid. The Devils play tonight. That game's going to be played in Minneapolis.
Not much net protection for Glenn Healy. As a matter of fact, how does none sound? This shot whistled right up near his neck. He had to sort of move his head out of the way and then glove it. That's why I worry about guys that don't have the net protection. And Glenn Healy and Ken Reagan of the Pittsburgh Penguins are the 2 most exposed throat guys in the league.
Like a catcher not wearing that billy goat stuff. Yeah. Boy, it really exposes you to some danger there. Healy came right off the dasher on him. Cy Domi puts the hit on. That held the puck in the zone momentarily anyway. Tomlinson giving chase. Got bumped off the puck. Zubov's got it for the Rangers. Zubov pinned up Cy Domi. Knocked away. Rebound shot deflected wide. Tomlinson had the chance. Held in by King. King, Tomlinson, and Domi. That would be expected as a checking line, getting some offensive chances. That came outside the center. So they're going to clear the zone. They do. 1:04 left to go here in the period. John Saunders will be by during our second intermission with highlights of all of those other games in the National Hockey League. The Jets 2 and the Rangers 1, shot 23-15 in favor of the Rangers. Graves got it out of the zone, but Kennedy's right there. Kennedy sends it back in. The Jets have really picked the play up. They're coming right at the Rangers. Not going to be out-muscled. Messier at center. 38 to go in the period. Mark Messier waiting for some help as they were changing it up behind him. Shannon picks it up. Rangers high back. Shannon, Steen in front of him. And the Jets dumping and chasing as they've done much of the day. Rangers from their own end lost it. Shannon trying to set it up. Puck drawn back. Shannon the shot, but it was blocked by Kevin Lowe. Kovalev in the corner. Steen stripped him of the puck. Steen coming to the front. Centered it. Lowe is there. Rangers just trying to avoid a bullet. Shannon back up to the point. Quintal, his shot deflected wide. 5 seconds to go in the period. Romanov knocked down, and Steen couldn't get it, and Kovalev won't have time to shoot it. This team has struggled this season as they picked up only 22 wins after winning 40 games last year. But they are giving Mike Keenan's Rangers all they need here this afternoon.
One thing is guaranteed with a John Paddock team on most nights. You will see 100% effort, and that's what we're seeing today.
Our Old Spice storyline. Tkachuk has picked up his 38th goal, leading the team in scoring. Drake with a short-handed goal, his 11th of the year. The Rangers 1 for 5 on the power play, with the best power play in the league, and they've given up a short-handed goal. This is the one that made it 2-1. Dallas Drake. That's the short-handed goal picked up by the Jets. We've completed 2 as the Jets lead the Rangers by a score of 2-1. Coming up during our Dodge Intermission Report, John Saunders. He'll be joining you in just a moment, then we'll be back for the third.
Double the laughter, double the fun. Identical sisters are wilder than one. TGIF gets a double dose of Sister Sister, an all-new comedy about identical twins separated at birth and together at last.
That girl has my face!
With Jack A. Harry and Tim Reed, a double dose of Sister Sister. Friday on TGIF, here on ABC.
Who do you suppose would create a car with an interior so well thought out? It gives you the confidence to perform maneuvers like this, even while you perform maneuvers like this.
the Lexus GS.
It's got a new cover, it's got a new name, but on the inside it's exactly the same. It's the real fine, genuine, more choices, gold mine, yellow pages from Bell Atlantic.
Presenting the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Same book, new name. 9 out of 10 use it. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages.
Real fine, genuine, more choices, gold mine, yellow pages from Bell Atlantic. Same book, new name.
If it were up to your kids, everything would be designed just for them. Right down to their toothbrush. Introducing Crest Complete's new kids brush. It's little, like them, with a unique kid grip that's easy to handle, and rippled bristles specially designed to get between their little teeth. So if you want to see a big difference in the way your kids brush, think small. We did.
On the next Oprah, she couldn't tell her parents all that happened on her dates.
Today's Intermission Report is brought to you by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. Here now, John Saunders.
Welcome back to the National Hockey League on ABC. As you probably know, earlier this week, Wayne Gretzky grabbed just about the only NHL record he did not own, surpassing the great Gordie Howe to become the greatest goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League. A terrific night, a terrific career.
Time with Gretzky trailing. Gretzky looking. Gary Curry. McSorley to Gretzky. Scores! He did it! He did it! The greatest goal scorer in National Hockey League history is Wayne Gretzky.
I don't think that words can describe the emotion that I felt and the feeling of that I had, and the gratitude I had to my teammates and of course to the fans. One of the best ovations I've ever had. So I have to say that I was pretty tickled. That was a pretty fun moment for me.
Wayne Gretzky's been providing a lot of fun for NHL fans for 15 years.
He scores! In the corner, Gretzky again scores! Cross eyes, Gretzky scores! Deep to Taylor to Gretzky scores!
I don't think it's really hit home to a lot of people where, it's like a baseball player would hit over 400 and all the rest are hitting a little over 300. That's the way he's dominated hockey for ever since he came in the league.
Records, to me, when people say, what's your favorite record, what's the best record? The ones that are the best, the favorite, are the hardest ones to break. Somebody's going to have to play 16 years at 50 goals a year.
Cuts in front of his teammate. Gretzky scores!
When Gretzky came along, I think he made everybody take a step back because his style was so different with, putting himself behind the net. I mean, wasn't new at that. Bob Clark did that for many years, but just not with the kind of adeptness that Gretzky did.
Gretzky, the middle, and it's in! Great pass by the great one.
He'll catch you right in the middle all the time. He'll pass the puck through you, and then you'll find yourself caught in the middle, in the bad ice. And you have a teammate of his who's bearing down on the net where you should be standing.
Dropped it for Gretzky, fakes the shot, and Anderson scores!
Wayne computes to where you're going to be, and he takes a little peek, and when you see him taking a peek at you, you keep doing what you're doing because he's judging where you should be by the time he gets to a certain spot. Nobody passes a puck softer or flatter than he does.
Oh, we saw some passing there, didn't we?
The funny thing was when I gave it to Marty, I knew that he was somehow trying to give it back to me. When I got it back, I saw the whole net.
Robitaille, sending cuts in front. They score! They score! Wayne Gretzky wins it for Los Angeles!
One of the most underrated things about Wayne Gretzky is the fact that he's a great scorer.
Number 99 in McClare. He scores!
I think Gretzky is a scoring machine.
Gretzky with Daniel moving in. Gretzky scores! A perfect shot! A perfect shot by Wayne Gretzky!
Well, I'm not sure what's next. I said yesterday at the press conference, I'd like to get 900 goals. I'd like to stay around the 1,000. I'm not sure. I don't know where I'm going to end. I'll keep going. I'm not going to stop. I love to play too much.
Later today on ABC, Gretzky and the Kings face the Vancouver Canucks. Now he has the record. He can set his sights on something more important, getting the Kings into the playoffs. Wayne Gretzky has never missed the playoffs during his professional career. We'll continue with more of the National Hockey League on ABC in just a moment.
On the one hand, we gave it a wider stance for better handling, a computer model suspension, and specially designed 16-inch tires. So, a pair of these could come in handy. On the other hand, we've thoughtfully designed each knob, button, and switch to be easily operated while you're wearing a pair of these. New Dodge Ram, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Well, Citibank Visa provides so many services, you really don't need another card.
They were very pleasant. Citibank didn't put me on hold forever, which a lot of companies do these days.
The card's lost. Within 24 hours, I had a new card expressed to me that next day.
The fraud protection program really gave me a sense that somebody's looking out for me and my best interest.
And for some reason, on the phone, they're always very friendly with me. So maybe it's just my personality, I don't know.
Just a few of the many people who rely on the service of not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
So you've done Big Bang. Tally, hold it. So you've done the South Pole. Polarized it. So you've done the space. Thanks, it. But have you done the do? So you've never done nothing till you do the full tilt taste of Diet Dew. Drink it. Drink it. Down it. Do it.
Welcome back once again to the Dodge Intermission Report in New York. I'm John Saunders. Let's get you to the scores and highlights right now. Washington and Boston. The first game since that trade last week, as Al Iafrate gets to go home and Juneau gets to play against his former team. Don Beaupre wasn't getting much help, though, up front, because on the shorthanded play here, Brian Smolinski lets it fly and beats him high over the glove side. 1-0 was the score then. Then Adam Oates, again a turnover. Takes the perfect feed, has the entire open net, another shorthanded goal. Boston has 3 shorthanded goals in this game, but Joey Juneau would come back against his former team with a quick wrist shot there, making it a 3-2 lead for Boston. And then Al Iafrate, back in Washington for the first time, left alone in front, finds the open net, beating Beaupre. And right now it's a 4-2 lead, Boston over Washington. That trade last week, and both players have come through against their former teams. Detroit and Chicago. Detroit starting the day 2 points behind Toronto for the #1 overall spot in the Western Conference. Sergei Fedorov, watch the move here, goes in unmolested, slips this one home. 1-0 is the score there. Then Bob Essensa turns this one over, mishandles it. Sutter finds it and finds Randy Cunnyworth, who has the entire open net. 1-1 is the score at that point. Keith Primo left alone in front on the doorstep just by the crease. Slips it in. 2-1 Detroit takes the lead. Sergei Fedorov, watch the shot. He takes it off the right knee. Left the game for several minutes. He will have x-rays on this. Despite that fact, he has come back into the game and is playing now for the Detroit Red Wings with the bad wheel. Dallas and Tampa Bay. Mike McPhee and Pat Ellinak have the goals, and this one is tied 1-1 right now. 10 minutes to go in the second period there. Let's take a look at the race in the West. Toronto on top with 92 points. Detroit, as I mentioned, within 2 points of them. Calgary gets the #2 seed if things hold the way they are now, because they lead their division, get rewarded for that. Nabisco Dinah Shore Golf. Let's get you updated on where they stand right now. We will take you to that golf following the hockey today. Donna Andrews and Lori Davies are battling for the top spot there, and that one is coming up following the National Hockey here on ABC. And we'll continue more, the Dodge Intermission Report, as we take a look at the leaderboard right now from the Nabisco Dinah Shore. This one coming up following the NHL on ABC.
We can't resist comparing Dodge Dakota Club Cab to Ford Ranger and Chevy S10. After all, the mid-size Dakota has a roomier cab, a bigger bed, more towing capacity, and more standard horsepower. But one thing you won't see is a comparison of available V8 engines, because with Ranger and S10, you can't get one. Dodge Dakota, a little bigger, a lot better.
The game. Some just play it.
others own it. The ones who own it see what no one else sees and know what no one else knows. Nobody knows the game like Topps. Topps gives you the players you want, the stats that matter, and pictures that tell the whole story. Own Topps, and you own more than a card. You own the game.
It began in the heartland, in towns small and large. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 12,500 convenient locations. More than any other company of any kind in America. Citgo, feel the pride.
Welcome back to the Dodge Intermission Report. We'll get you back to your game in just a moment. But first, a reminder, tonight here on ABC, all new episodes of America's Funniest Hour, followed by an all-new Lois and Clark. Then a world premiere presentation on ABC Theater. Gene Smart stars in The Yarn Princess, an all-new night of entertainment tonight here on ABC. Then next Saturday on ABC Sports, the Professional Bowlers Tour rolls in the Splitfire Spark Plugs Open. Then ABC's Wild World of Sports follows with the pairs competition from the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions, plus high-flying action from Slovenia, the World Ski Flying Championships, and from Florida, the World High Diving Championship, Saturday here on ABC. And we'll be back after this word from your local ABC stations.
Mary Tyler Moore was a hero to childless couples.
Don't be shy. Take your little boy.
Until a social worker uncovered the ugly truth.
You had no right stealing those people's children.
Stolen babies. Monday, here on ABC.
I want my son back.
Tuesday, it's an all-new Blue.
My son says he didn't do it. He sold to me.
That don't sound like Andy, does it?
Is it too late to be a good father?
I believe my son.
NYPD Blue, Tuesday on ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
The powerful, all-aluminum alloy engine in the Lexus ES is so incredibly quiet. You can hear the cliché.
Genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Same book, new name. 9 out of 10 use it. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages.
Real fine, genuine, more choices, gold mine, Yellow Pages from Bell Atlantic.
Same book, new name.
See it, say it, play it. Jeopardy, tomorrow at 7.
The New York Rangers have the best record and best road record in the National Hockey League, but the Winnipeg Jets are leading them 2-1 after 2 here in Winnipeg.
You know, almost doesn't matter what you do as far as dominating a team. You can outplay them, you can outpower play them, everything, but if you run into a hot goaltender, there is not much you can do except keep coming at them. The Rangers did that in the second period. Messier with a nice little peek to see if anybody was coming. Chevrolet was out far enough to take away the shot that he just backed up and was able to squeeze off that attempt through the 5-hole. And a man short, the New York Rangers are also dangerous. Craig McTavish with a nice stop-and-go move here on Keith Kachuk. He lost him completely, launched that shot that Chevrolet was able to stop. And hey, Glenn Healy has not been shabby in the Rangers' goal either. Just watch this. With all the traffic in front, he goes down on his knees. Keep your eyes on Healy and the paddle of his stick. Boom, right off the paddle. If he's not there, that baby is in. So good goaltending.
That is a great save. Coming up next, ABC Sports presents final round coverage of golf's first major of the year. The top players of the LPGA take aim in Palm Springs. Their sport's most coveted crowns. From California, it is the Nabisco Dinah Shore. That's coming up next with ABC Sports. And tonight, all new episodes of America's Funniest Hour, followed by an all-new Lewis and Clark. Then, the world premiere presentation on ABC Theater, Gene Smart in The Yarn Princess. It's an all-new night of entertainment tonight, right here on ABC. And you'll be seeing next Saturday the Pro Bowlers. Back for Ulanov. Ulanov at his own blue line comes to center. We start even strength. Shots are 23-15 in favor of the Rangers. The Jets, however, have the 2-1 lead. Chevrolet lets that one go, and it'll be touched up for the icing call as we're underway here in the third.
You know, a lot of times people wonder why trades are made. Well, sometimes the numbers are the indication as to why trades are made. Even as we speak, the Detroit Red Wings and the Winnipeg Jets, and these are the teams that were involved in the Chevrolet deal. Bob Essenser went to Detroit. Tim Chevrolet came here along with Dallas Drake. They have the 2 worst save percentages as teams. Team save percentages after Ottawa. You discount Ottawa in just about every category because they're rock bottom. But John Paddock's team and Scotty Bowman's team have the 2nd and 3rd worst save percentages even now in the NHL, and that's why the trade was made.
Jets giving up 4.03 goals a game. You compare that with the Rangers, 2.76. As we said, this is today, and it's the Jets 2 and the Rangers 1. Brought in by Glenn Anderson. Anderson poke check away to Graves. Puck rolling. It is in. No, it is behind the net. Messier and Graves had me fooled, though. They had their arms up as though it had gone into the net with Chevrolet, but it had gone wide. You do beat me, however. Let's check in with Al.
Thanks, Gary. Well, earlier in the game, we told you Dave Manson thought he shouldn't have been thrown out of the game. He didn't think that he slashed Alexei Kovalev that badly. Well, the proof positive of Mr. Kovalev. Between periods, I went over to the Rangers room. He's got a badly swollen wrist. Mike Keenan was real upset, said the hit was a lot harder than Manson thought it was. Kovalev very sore in the wrist, should be able to finish the game, and I'm told to be very sore tonight. Probably put something on it tonight. Not broken, but very, very badly swollen.
Al, do you know if he got hit on that backside of the wrist?
It was the top of the wrist, higher up toward the forearm.
Yeah.
Under Rule 78, the game misconduct is imposed where there's a slash if there is an injury on the play. So that's why Manson got the game misconduct along with that 5-minute major. Craig McTavish. Kachuk won the draw. They're around the boards but not out. Zuboff and King. King finally wheels it away to center. New York Rangers not used to being held down offensively as they are right now. Ty Domi sends it in. Healy waved at it and missed. King gets the puck in the corner and just sends it around wide side. Just underway in the third here on ABC. Our coverage of the National Hockey League for the next 6 Sundays. 3 Sundays of regular season games, and then the first 3 Sundays of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Comes through center ice, low-handed, lost it. Zuboff back to get it. Through the middle of Craig McTavish. McTavish spun around by Shannon, knocked away by King. Zuboff right back into the middle, and you see the checking game at center ice.
Yes, sir. Terrific neutral zone presence by the Jets. Kevin Lowe tried to rush it through, couldn't. Craig McTavish tried to look at him here, too. I mean, everybody is back.
Lowe sends that in. Chevrolet goes back to get it. They'll work from behind the net. Darryl Shannon called up on February 1st, getting ice time here with all the injuries for the Winnipeg Jets. Messier drops it in the middle. Played by Leak. Leak over to Messier. Messier. Little hook by Emerson, and Kachuk tried to run him and missed. But he gave it a try. Messier comes back at him, and Kachuk goes back at Messier. And then Graves comes over and pushes Kachuk away from Messier. Rob Schick has got probably both of them. We'll see.
I think he does. You had to know that Adam Graves was going to be there. He sticks up for everybody that wears blue when he is on the ice, especially his main man, Mark Messier. I thought Rob Schick maybe was only going to take Keith Kachuk, but it looked like he has signaled both of them. Watch Kachuk go for him. He's got him locked off now, beep, 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 and away he went, but Messier saw him coming, and Kachuk got it way worse than Messier did. That's why Kachuk got up and went back after Messier. Look at him. Aye, Otter. Well, he did.
Kachuk took Messier's stick under the head and then came back and said, tit for tat. All this talent and only 22 years old.
Well, you know, you talk about his talent, Gary. His size, his aggressiveness, combined with his skill level. We saw him ding one off the post to score one of the Jets' goals. And besides that, he wears the C. That tells you something about the character. That's why when you look at Keith Kachuk, you're talking full package. I mean, what's missing? I don't think anything's missing.
Only a little more experience. Our scoring summary, Kovalev started at his 17th from Larmer and Ticketon, 1-0 lead, but the Winnipeg Jets came back. Kachuk's 38th at 6:39. Darren Shannon continuing his scoring streak, and then the go-ahead, the short-handed goal by Drake from Ulanoff and Steen. And 2-1, and that's where we are right now as we are in the third period. Darren Shannon now 6 goals, 13 assists, and a 10-game scoring streak for that Winnipeg Jets. Played off the boards to Nelson Emerson. Emerson with Kovalev right on him. He ran right in on his own goaltender. That time the Rangers 2 forecheckers up ice. Emerson tips it away to center. Minute 40 on the power play chance here. as the Rangers are short-handed, but they're sending people up ice. So the advantage here goes on the double minor picked up by Messier, roughing and high sticking. Tkachuk just got 2 for rough it. So a power play and a chance again for the Jets to extend that lead. Held in by McBean. Shannon knocks it down. Steen to the point. McBean wrapped it around hard near side Emerson. Emerson let it go to the point. Quintal can't hold it in. Good play by Mateau. Knocked that out of the zone. Kovalev takes the stick in the midsection. Quintal, Emerson all there along with McBean. Quintal finally gets it. Emerson falls down. Kovalev behind the play. Shannon brings it in the zone. 52 left on the power play for the Jets. McBean trying to get it around the dasher. Again blocked, and Kovalev sends it out. Chevrolet at the other end. The Jets 2 and the Rangers 1. Quintal on the near side. Rangers 1, the only other meeting between these two teams at Madison Square Garden by the score that's on the board right now. The Rangers won that one 2-1. McBean for the Jets. 29 on the advantage for them. Quintal got it in, batted right out of the zone by Zubov. Chevrolet waiting as Tikkanen was there, though, so he played it around the boards. Can't get it by Glenn Anderson. Drake comes back to get it. 12 seconds left on the Jet advantage. Craig McTavish. Great penalty killing by the Rangers. 4 seconds on the advantage. McTavish trying to knock it away. Comes to McBean, and it's over.
The Jets are making this kill easy for the Rangers, though. They've tried passes. They don't put any speed on their passes at all, and the Rangers have actually been able to skate into the passes and cut them. When you move it, you can't underestimate the Rangers' penalty kill. You got to move it crisply.
Anderson for McTavish, and Ulanoff was there to take McTavish out of the play. Romanek starts it to Drake. Drake for the Jets. Blue line shot. Glenn Healy knocks it down. Healy lays it off the boards. Mark Messier is over to get it. Glenn Healy with a 884 save percentage and a very strong 293 goals against for the Rangers. Healy appearing in his 28th game of the year and his 16th start. King sends it in. Healy goes back. Bookabom's got Steen on him. Shannon could not control, and Mateau will pick it up wide side. Rangers complete a line change. Noonan brings it in, but an offside call, and Noonan got rubbed pretty hard by King, but they'll separate. 15-19 to go in the third. The Jets maintaining that 1-goal lead.
Yeah, golf. Football. Golf. Now, football.
Let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents Full Contact Golf.
Yeah!
We're still on the first hole, Bob, and this is Davis teeing it up. Here's the drive. It has blocked. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste with less filling, you can combine anything. Oh, he's got daylight going for the green. Here's the putt. There's the blitz.
Oh, good beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
If you lust for power, try this. 1,340 cc's of rolling thunder. It's called Harley-Davidson, and you'll find it in all its glory at Southeast Harley in Cleveland, where you can get anything from an FXR to a BLT. But if you go, bring your love of the two-lane blacktop and your Visa card, because at Southeast Harley, they'll take you to hog heaven, but they won't take American Express. Visa is everywhere you want to be.
Short-handed goal by Dallas Drake is the difference in this game right now in this third period. Other games that are underway in the National Hockey League that we've been keeping you updated on. Fedorov has scored one there. Went out with an injury to the knee but came back to play. Boston's got 3 short-handed goals. Juneau and Iafrate both have goals in that game. They were traded from one team to the other. Dallas, Tampa Bay. And Los Angeles, Vancouver getting underway. Those are the games underway in the National Hockey League. A number of other games will be played tonight. Glenn Healy back to get it. 15 minutes to go here in this third period. Fire from over as the Rangers are down a goal. Stepan Mateau. Mateau with Kovalev. Save Chevrolet. Kovalev trying to run it in. It deflected wide. Kovalev back out in front, but Tkachuk is there. Does not clear. Good hole by Zubov. Mateau on the far side. Mateau, Larmer, and Kovalev on this line for the Rangers. Kovalev without the helmet. He had it ripped off. He is not trying to join Craig McTavish. Sent it in front. Mateau! Great save by Tim Chevrolet. Kovalev, save again. One-on-one. Tkachuk will get it out of the zone. Chevrolet, this is the best I've seen him play in a long time.
It's not only how well he's playing, Gary, but it's how confident he looks making the saves. I mean, that looked like he was making a practice save on Kovalev. option now for the New York Rangers, because the Jets have people back all the time, is get to the net. They did that on the last rush. That's how Kovalev lost his helmet. Mateau smartly got it to the net. This is a 2-on-3. You got three guys back. Forget about making a play. Get somebody to the net, and that's what Kovalev did when Mateau shot. That is going to be the option that the Rangers have. The last two saves, though, terrific. First on Mateau. Chevrolet got to his feet. Watch how cool he is on the one from Kovalev. Watch. A little practice save. No sweat. The last, well, he's been averaging, Chevrolet, 37 shots against here, so it's not as if he has picked up 3 wins easily playing for the Winnipeg Jets. He has 3 wins and a loss, and he has averaged 37 shots against.
When your team isn't scoring 3 goals a game on average, you got to be pretty darn tough. Out to center, batted away from Drake and into the zone. Karpatov is there. We've not seen a lot of ice time in this game. Alexei Karpatov is out there. Karpatov has played just about 3 shifts, I think, in this game. Comes back through the center. Shannon on the near side. Over to Drake. Penalty coming up. Delayed call. It's going to be on the Rangers. Touched up, and there's the whistle. So the Rangers are going to be short-handed with 13:57 to go in the third and trailing 2-1. Keenan's club comes up short again. Elmore Gandy.
Thanks, Gary. One of the guys that was really pumped for this game, obviously, Ty Domi. Came from the Rangers to Winnipeg, and he's been running around the latter part of the last period, early this period. You'll watch for a bad penalty from Domi because, as I said, he is pumped. He's wanted to put on a show today. He's been a very popular player here in Winnipeg, but a little bit of a backlash and all the attention he gets compared to other players. It's kind of out of place that a guy with his role, be on the media guy, whatever. It's gone, I think, from some good time living to some players really being a little bit upset at all the attention Domi gets. Guys?
Yeah, I've heard that too, Al. The fans here love him, but sometimes your act wears a little thin depending on what your act is, and that may be a little bit of the case with Ty Domi, but leadership on hockey teams and on any kind of team overcomes that. You pull everybody back together again, so that'll be one of the functions that Keith Patrick will have to perform if some of the guys do have a problem with Ty Domi and some of the attention that he's been getting.
Here's the power play with Norstrom out for elbowing at 6:03. The Rangers short-handed. Adam Graves. Good defensive play by Stefan Quintal, who took Graves out of the play. And the Jets back in their own end will try and get this power play going, having been able to convert on only one power play opportunity here today. And the Rangers, of course, short-handed, a threat to score. Quintal drops it for Thomas Steen. Steen has Shannon over there with him. Shannon sends it in deep. Nelson Emerson on the near side. Can't get it back to the point. Messier gives chase. Chevelday pinned that one up on the boards. Quintal trying to clear it out. Can't. Down to Messier. Short-handed, tipped it in. Chevelday the save. And the Rangers again with this great short-handed unit putting the heat on. At the point, Bukaboom, his shot deflected wide by Emerson. Rebound, loose side of the net, jammed on by Graves. And Chevelday made the short side save. Emerson the other way. 57 on the power play. Emerson in, shot. Healy the save. Puck is loose. The light is on. It is a goal. Ron Schick says yes, it counts. And I believe Nelson Emerson will be credited with a goal. It's 3-1 Jets.
Boy, all speed. Speed and then a terrific move from Nelson Emerson. It's going to be hard for Mike Keenan's team to come back. Watch how close he gets to Bukaboom before he makes his move. That's why Bukaboom was frozen, and Emerson with a tremendous outside move and a burst of speed. He stayed with it. There it is. Just over. We lose sight of it, but Nelson Emerson never did. All the way from the Jets' end. I'll let you watch it. Right, that's a great move to be able to get that close to the defenseman, then head straight for the boards and do that big hook right around him. That tells you how fast Nelly Emerson is.
And it is the second power play goal the Jets have had against the best shorthanded unit in the league. Nelson Emerson is credited with it, and it is a 3-1 lead for the Winnipeg Jets. Now the Rangers really have to open it up. Power play goal, 25th overall of the season for Emerson. Stefan Quintal picking up the assist. Tipped wide of the net, in front by Mateau. Dallas Drake for the Jets. Drake clears it out. Ty Domi. Domi giving chase. Zuboff there with him. Near side for Limer. Steve Limer whistled on the offside. Matteau was in on the left. He wound up to take it. The Jets didn't like it.
Why did he get hit? Borsato really caught Steve Larmer. Larmer didn't let up on his shot, but once he took the shot, he let up, and he paid.
12-12 remaining in regulation. Jets up by 2.
For this guy, any deodorant will do, but these guys need Speed Stick, antiperspirant that gives 110%. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick, for movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
Because many places in the world come with crowbars as standard equipment, the new Volkswagen Jetta comes with an anti-theft alarm system as standard equipment too.
Whoa, sumo wrestling.
Come on, we'll miss the high dive competition. High dive, sumo, high dive.
Guys, let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents Sumo High Dive.
No.
Yes, it's true.
Here's the reverse, 2.5.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything.
He's going for no splash.
It is dreams, Bob.
Some dive, some beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Winnipeg Jets leading it here 3-1 on Saturday here at ABC Sports. Professional Bowlers Tour will be coming along. Will be coming up on Saturday. Tomlinson on the face-off. McTavish won that one back. And in wide, Shovelay out to get it. Rangers. Everybody will be moving in now. Craig McTavish. They are down by 2. This Winnipeg team has lost 6 games this year where they've had a lead going to the 3rd period. That is a very high number. Generally, that will lead the league. Chased down by Nordstrom at the far end. The Rangers have come back in 3 games to win in the 3rd this year.
You know what the Jets have now that they didn't have, or at least they've had for the last couple of weeks, is Tim Shovelay.
And Kennedy was able to get their first touching it up. Saturday here on ABC Sports, the Professional Bowlers Tour rolls in. It'll be the Splitfire Spark Plugs Open. Then ABC's Wide World of Sports follows with the pairs competition from the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions, plus high-flying action from Slovenia, the World Ski Flying Championships, and from Florida, the World High Diving Championships. That's all Saturday on ABC.
Now, Tim Shovelay, when talking about his 3 wins that he has picked up here in Winnipeg, said, you know, I got all the breaks. Puck hit a lot of posts. I mean, every time it could have gone one way or the other, it always went in my favor. Well, if he hangs on to this one, will have to admit to himself that he earned it. He didn't get any breaks in this one. He has just played his rear end off and done a terrific job in goal for the Jets. And that's, you know that a team in the 3rd period is going to come at you. You're going to fall back a little bit. If you don't have the goaltending, you will give up 6 losses in the 3rd period. You got to have the backstop.
Especially when you don't believe in yourself entirely. Taken into the corner, the Rangers down here. Kiprio's pinned up behind the net. McBean clears it out. And remember, it continues this way. The New Jersey Devils are playing tonight. They are 2 points behind the Rangers for the #1 spot in the National Hockey League. It matters because of home ice. You can finish #1 in the league. You're guaranteed home ice for the entire NHL playoffs. Bookabum kicked that one away. Played out by Stefan Quintal. Quintal sends it in. Back to getting Glenn Healy. That's what you'll see the Jets do now for the remainder of this period with 10:43 left to go. No chances at center. They'll dump and chase. Rangers, Kevin Lawler trying to get on the ice. He started over, went back, and then came back out. Dallas Drake, there's Lowe knocking it away. The man Lowe was replacing was still trying to get over there, and he was already standing on the ice, and the puck was coming right at him. Shovelay holds it up. Igor Ulanov's got it. Ulanov sends it in front of the net. Winnipeg Jets have played a very strong game here at home this afternoon. They have won only 13 games here at home, losing 22 and tying 3, but they've got the lead here. Zubov back, near side Larmer, shot was wide. Lowe steps up to hold it in, tipped it back to the point, Zubov. Down for Stefan Matteau. Matteau tough to move in front of that net. Zubov was the intended, and it came outside the zone. Another good defensive play made that time by Russ Romanek to break up that pass.
About 65 miles south of the nearest stoplight, And 2 miles up in the Rocky Mountain sky, you'll find skier's heaven, also known as Telluride Ski Mountain, where the skiing's perfect and the views are even better. And whether you're going to extremes or just going for a lesson, don't go without your Visa card, because at Telluride Ski Mountain, they'll let you take the plunge, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Hey, the Miss Perfect pageant. Yeah.
We're watching hockey.
Let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents the Miss Perfect Face-Off. Okay, Bob, Miss Georgia goes to the corner. She plays those right. Here's the puck coming loose. The shot. She scores. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Oh, that'll be smashing. 2 minutes for Miss Congeniality.
Bad call. Good beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
9:53 remaining to go, and the Jets now up by 2 over the Rangers. Our Visa storyline from Winnipeg. Tkachuk, his 38th goal, leading the team in scoring for Winnipeg. Kovalev has got number 17 on a power play for the Rangers. You see the Jets, though, 2 power play goals and a Dallas Drake shorthanded goal. That has given them the 2-goal lead. They're being outshot 29-18 by the Rangers, but they've made theirs count. 9:46 left, third period. Rangers starting it from behind their own net. They've had trouble getting through center here, and that's why right there. Checking in that neutral zone, extremely tough by the Jets. Nordstrom sends it in, but it's wide and offside as well. 8 teams go to the playoffs from each conference. If they started today, Rangers would be seeded first, Pittsburgh would be seeded second, and there are the matchups.
Subject to change, obviously. The Florida Panthers do not have it locked up, nor do the New York Rangers, but it doesn't matter really how you juggle all of those. We're going to have some terrific, not only first-round matchups, but potentially last-round conference final matchups. The West is like this. San Jose, 8th in the conference, would start out against Toronto, but Toronto doesn't have that sewn up because the Detroit Red Wings are hot on their trail.
Still decisions to be made about who finishes where. Ty Domi sends it out. Nordstrom goes back and touches it up for the icing call on the Jets, stopping the clock with 9:26 left to go.
You know, the New York Rangers are a resilient hockey team. They're not only a talented team, but before hitting the road, they lost 3 out of 4. The last one was at home against Chicago. They lost 7-3. So Mike Keenan's guys hit the road, but after the trading deadline, after they picked up Craig McTavish, a couple of other players, and they have won 3 straight on the road, or at least they're undefeated in 3. They tied Calgary, then won in Edmonton, and won in Vancouver. They have always been able to bounce back, and I think part of that is a product of their talent, but also a product of the veteran players they have in this hockey team. They don't panic real easy.
You saw the record for the Rangers, 22 wins on the road established this season. They're going to have to come on strong now. Still tied with 9:17 left to go. Shannon playing it behind the net. It's spun around. McTavish putting the forechecking work on along with Greg Gilbert, who has not seen a lot of ice time in this game. Nordstrom at center, banged by Tomlinson, then runs into King. McTavish trying to send it in. Shannon had it, lost it. Joey Koser down on the ice. Rangers got to get back on side. Nowhere to go with it. Kennedy starts the other way. Jets will change it up. Glove down. Karpatsev got it ahead, and Joey Koser sends it in. So-called checking line leaves the ice for the Rangers. Messier tried to hold it in. Leach got it. Leach down low. Messier in front of the net. Leach couldn't drag it by Ulanov. Good play by Ulanov. Dallas Drake around the dasher and out of the zone, and they wave off any icing. Going to be played. Ty Domi's up ice. He and Bugaboo collide. Glenn Healy played it around the net. Rangers down 2. The hitting picks up behind the play. The late offside call on the Jets, so the Rangers get a free out here. Leach brings it up. Jets trying to make quick line changes. Ulanov trying to bang it out, can't get it by. Bukaboom's shot, trying to pass to Graves. There's Graves. Adam Graves. Messier trying to get it back to Glenn Anderson. Anderson, Graves, and Messier. Bukaboom the cannon. That one hit Romanek. He was all right. He got it on the pad. Hard shot. Bukaboom steps up to hold it in. Sends it back behind the net for Graves. Tried to center. And it's batted down out of the air.
That is some good D. Nothing got to the net. Tim Shovel, they didn't have to make a save. I mean, Romanek helped by blocking one, but the man-to-man coverage was not only right on, but it was intense. Nobody was able to get to the front of the net, and they weren't even able to get the puck there.
You can see why John Paddock leaves. He's got the makings of a strong team here, after this disastrous season where they were picked to do much better than they had.
Well, I know one thing. Since he took over as general manager a couple of months ago from Mike Smith, he was my right winger for a year when I played in Washington. A tough guy, real decisive guy. I know one thing. Everybody knows who's in charge here now. I mean, it's John Paddock. And you do it his way or you don't play. And the players like it. The players don't mind John Paddock at all. They know where they stand with him. He wants it a certain way. As long as they give it to him, everybody gets along. That's fine.
Very fair player. Shot in front. Covered. Noonan. Chevrolet's got it. The whistle has already sounded. Tim Chevrolet has Noonan poking at it 3 or 4 times. Brian Noonan of the Rangers, but he couldn't get it by him. Chevrolet finally ended up under the pile. Let's check in with Elmore Gandy.
Thanks, Gary. You were talking about John Paddock, the Winnipeg Jets coach. I asked him before the game, he fully intends to have both jobs again next year, general manager and coach. Perhaps by then he will have traded several more Russian players and he'll have the lineup exactly like he wants it. Guys?
Stefan Quintal made an interesting comment this week, carried in the Montreal newspaper. He says the Jets' problem this season is too many Russians. 5 Russians on the team, always together. They went out together. They didn't mix with the other players.
Nor did they speak much English. You know, I buy that, and it's not a knock against Russians. It could be 5 guys from Mars. If you come with a different language and a different set of values and you function by yourselves, you're not part of the team. But you need everybody pulling on the same rope. Now, it's not only the Russians' fault. Some of the leaders on this Winnipeg team, it's their job to try to integrate them and pull them together. That didn't happen. But it's interesting. The 2 Russians who spoke the best English, Zhamnov and Ulanov, are still here. The other 3 are gone.
John Paddock making the moves he thinks necessary for this team. 12:22. Kiprios and Kennedy both picked up on sportsmanlike conduct penalties. So now we're 4-on-4 with 7:30 to go here in the 3rd period. And the Winnipeg Jets leading the Rangers by a score of 3-1. 4-on-4. Steen moved it in. Taken out of the play by Lowe. Vickerman follows the puck in. Kachuk was there with him. Steen got it. Steen sends it back. Ulanov all alone. Ulanov's shot was blocked. Waited too long. Noonan got out on it. Played back for Steen. Kachuk in front of the net. Steen goes back to the point. Shot Quintal. He just missed that one. Stefan Quintal ripped it wide. Ulanov off the blocker. Glenn Healy. And out the center. This is not a power play. It looks like it, but it's 4-on-4. Ulanov near side. Leach in. Leach shot. Save again. Chevrolet. He has not been beaten in a big situation and beaten only once this afternoon. Emerson. Zubov with him. Shannon trying to tip it away. Zubov's got it. 56 seconds on the matching minors. Both teams change it up. Zubov going back, waiting for the Rangers to get out there and almost lost that. Leach. Kovalev brings it in for the Rangers. Kovalev has Graves going to the net. Kovalev looking far side. Bukaboom. Bukaboom's got room. Bukaboom in. Shot! Off the end of the glove on Chevrolet. Shannon on the far side. Kachuk. Kovalev steps in front. They do a little rodeo work, and down they both go. 6:06 to go in regulation play. Bukaboom again. Bukaboom. Tried to back it up in front. Drake was there to knock it down. He's played a great game. Shannon dropped it to center. Kachuk came over to get it. Bukaboom tied him up. Graves has the puck. Graves dropped it. Kovalev again. Kovalev. He gets dumped on the far side by Shannon. Play by Daryl Shannon. Got the stick in on him. Shannon battles for the puck. Has it right underneath his skates. Can't find it. Swings Kovalev around. Wow. There's a dance. They finally separate. Drake moves in. Plays it to the point. Shannon comes over. He's run out of legs on this ship. Tries to clear it out. Kachuk knocks it down with a high stick. There he touches it up, and that gets the whistle. The Winnipeg Jets, though, hanging on and running the clock. That's time remaining in the 3rd.
Nature can be devastating to wood. All-purpose water sealer's waterproof. So does Olympic WaterGuard for wood. But only Olympic has sunblock protection to fight sun damage, plus resists mildew, and has penetrating linseed oil to strengthen wood fibers. Olympic WaterGuard with 4-way wood protection, because wood needs more than an all-purpose water sealer.
East of the Texas Hill Country in Austin, there's a place that just won't let you go home hungry. It's called Threadgill's. And here you might find yourself behind a great big chicken fried steak, a mountain of red beans and rice, or even a microphone. So if you go, bring your appetite for a good time and your Visa card. Because Threadgill's might let you take the stage, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The National Hockey League on ABC is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Menon Speed Stick Deodorant and Speed Stick Antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. Welcome back, everybody, here in Winnipeg as a scuffle broke out over by the Winnipeg bench well after the whistle. The calls are just being made now.
Listen to this. Nick Kiprios was the Ranger that was waiting in there, and Keith Tkachuk, somehow Keith has found himself in the middle of all the action. It's been a full roll here for Keith Tkachuk. Tkachuk is gone, it looks like, with 5:17 to go, but one of the things that the Winnipeg Jets have to address is the amount of that tough work that Keith Tkachuk has to do. Now, they got Dave Manson, but he's out of the game. He was kicked out for a stick infraction. But that's one of the reasons John Paddock got Dave Manson, is so that Keith Tkachuk doesn't have to be in the middle of all of these things all the time. He's too talented a player to be the guy, like Brendan Shanahan. I mean, Brendan Shanahan and St. Louis can't be the guy all the time.
Well, you're looking at the Jets' leading scorer in Keith Tkachuk, but he's also got 213 minutes in penalties coming into this game. Kiprios and Tkachuk both pick up 10-minute misconducts, and so does Esa Tikkanen. So all three of them gone. Kiprios, Tkachuk, and Tikkanen, with 5:02 left to go here in the third, all pick up 10-minute misconducts. Steen dumped it deep, delayed offside call. Jets wisely will just let that one go and keep the clock running. The Jets leading the Rangers by a score of 3-1. Steen intercepts. Thomas Steen, the veteran, has played a very strong game. He heard his man Romanoff hollering far side, put it behind him. Leach back out for Graves. Shots now are 32-18 in favor of the Rangers, but not the lead. The Jets have that one by 2. Back to Leach. Shot save made by Chevrolet. Gentile takes it in behind the net. Winnipeg playing one of their stronger games of the season here this afternoon. They have been tough.
Without their top defenseman, without their top center, without their top right winger, but with a terrific performance from Tim Chevrolet.
And Dallas Drake, too, gets leveled by Bukabum on the near side after he dumped it in. Tkachuk, Drake, and Emerson have the goals for the Winnipeg Jets. Kovalev had the first goal of the game. But it did not stand up for the Rangers. Healy leading it behind the net. Ty Domi knocked it away. Domi trying to kick it out in front. It's tied up back there. Drake putting the stick in, hauling him down. No call as he went after Kovalev. Near side Borsato. Borsato sent it in. Down low. Drake, poke checked away by Healy. Nobody could find the puck. Set Drake. Kovalev starts it the other way for the Rangers. This is a 3-on-3, and the Rangers are changing. Rangers get some fresh legs out. Stephane Matteau just off the bench. Shot saved by Chevrolet. Stonewalling the Rangers. Tim Chevrolet.
When you look at Tim Chevrolet, what do you think the chances are of him letting in a soft goal right now? If you've been watching this game, to me, they're none. There's no chance. Probably let in 2 easy ones right now. But he's been so confident and so cool. That shot from Matteau, I mean, he just ate it up. He has been absolutely in control. He has not had to really panic and make a lot of out-of-control saves. I don't think he's made one out-of-control save. He has been in control of his body. And sometimes, with a barrage of shots, you find a goaltender floundering around a little bit, back and forth. Tim Chevrolet has been completely in control.
We've talked about that before. Goaltenders, when they are on, have that economy of motion. They make saves with a minimum amount of effort. When they're struggling, they're all over the place. Zubov Zuboff drops it in the middle, tipped away by Kevin Lowe to the corner. McTavish, Koser, and King are out there now with 3 minutes left to go here in the third period, and the Rangers down 3-1. Healy holds it up at the other end for Lowe, comes back to get it. Lowe starting around, had Tomlinson on him. Tomlinson quickly backs off. Domi moved in, put the hit on Kevin Lowe. McTavish trying to clear it up, can't connect. Kennedy right there. Kennedy sends it the other way. Zuboff starting for the Rangers. Zuboff into the zone with some great balance. Zuboff finally got taken off the play by King. King up for Domi. Leach beats him to it. Domi knocks it away. Now Domi trying to center. Steve Larmer all over him. Leach plays the puck back. Rangers running out of time. 2:28 left to go. Third period, and the Jets are up by 2. Kovalev in. Kovalev couldn't get set up. He got knocked down by Kennedy. Comes up to Romanek. Romanek will clear it out of the zone. Bukaboom. And they do have the arm up for icing on the touch up by Bukaboom with 2:11 remaining. John Saunders.
Well, Gary and Phil, Detroit and Chicago, you want to see a pretty move? Watch Bob Probert on Chris Chelios. Fakes about right between his legs and then finishes the play. 3-1 is the score right now. Back to Gary and Bill.
Now, John, what do you figure about the element of surprise that Bob Probert used on Chris Chelios? I don't think Chelios expected it, but do not take anything away from that move by Bob Probert.
Probert's 6th goal of the season right there. The Western Conference looks like this for the playoffs with 8 teams going. Toronto and Calgary get the first seeds because they lead their divisions. Then San Jose, Herbe in net, a spectacular year for him. And it looks like they're going to go.
You know, you look up and down the matchups, and we've looked at them in both conferences, and sometimes I like to say, well, if I were whatever team, who would I like to face? There's nobody I'd like to play. I mean, it's that even. I mean, I don't care who it is in the East. I wouldn't want to play the Islanders or the Flyers or Florida. You could get upset by them.
Absolutely.
And you get upset by the San Jose Sharks. I don't care who you are in the West.
Yep. Nordstrom brings it in, and one of the reasons for that is this is the year of the goaltender in the National Hockey League. And in a playoff format, a hot goaltender makes all the difference in the world. And there have been about 26 hot goaltenders in the National Hockey League this year, all year. Graves brings it in. Graves looking to the middle, comes in himself, back to the point. Nordstrom, his shot blocked by Borsato. Rebound kicked wide as Noonan tried to back it in. 1:28 left to go. The Jets trying to pick up a win here at home, leading the Rangers by 2. And they have deservedly held that lead. They have played tough hockey. Kovalev got his 17th early on in the second period. The Rangers went up 1-0. The Winnipeg Jets have scored the last 3. Kachuk, Drake, and Emerson. If the Jets win this, it'll be only the 4th time that they have won a game where the opponent scored first. They are 33-4 in those games. Gilbert around the net. Final minute of play. Centering pass blocked out to center. Bukaboom.
Remember we talked about the Jets hanging in there and not falling behind by a couple of goals. When you've had that bad a year, you just collapse. They haven't.
They played it tough. Drake, the big hit. Penalty coming up. Delayed call. Batted behind the net. Rangers need the whistle, and there it is as Quintal and the gloves. Joey Koser.
Yeah. The lines were coming to Joey Koser. Didn't look that anxious to go. He doesn't have much to gain. You know, Joey Koser's got bad hands from all the fights that he has been in. And with a 3-1 deficit staring at the New York Rangers, Joey Koser didn't want to make it any worse with perhaps an instigator or anything. So he just held on.
As if the original penalty holds up, the Rangers will have a power play with 34.6 remaining to go. Want to remind you, next week, the National Hockey League action continues here on ABC. We'll have more great matchups for you. Boston will be taking on a Pittsburgh team that looks like it's just laying in the weeds. St. Louis takes on Detroit. Edmonton will meet L.A. or Dallas taking on Washington. Our live coverage at 1 Eastern, 12 noon Central and Pacific. That's next Sunday on ABC. And Bill and I will have the game in Cleveland with the neutral site game with Boston and Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh's only got a couple of points on the team that's right behind them, Montreal. So first and second seeds are wide open, and that will also affect third or fourth. And with just about 10 games to go for most teams, stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
A great decision by the National Hockey League to redo the playoff format as to how teams make it, going by conference. It has made it much more interesting here for the final month of the year.
Even before that, I mean, coaches that we talked to, players and fans were looking at those standings even in January, long before the end of the season. And what this will potentially lead to is a conference final between two great rivals. Potentially. You never know. Boston Bruins, Montreal Canadiens could end up in it against one another.
All right, Messier, the leading scorer, 80 points on the season for Messier. Has not picked one up here today. There were other games played this afternoon in the National Hockey League that we've been keeping you posted on. You see they still got 6 left there. Detroit extending their lead 3-1. Boston, 3 short-handed goals, but Washington has battled back. 4 minutes left to go on that one, so they've got a chance. Dallas having a great season in their new home. Los Angeles, they've got to virtually win them all now if they're going to have any shot at catching San Jose. John Saunders will be along to bring you the highlights on those games and possibly join one or more of those finishes. We have 34.6 seconds left here. A penalty has been picked up by the Jets, so the power play underway here.
You know what the deal is? I think one of those original penalties was to Cantel, wasn't it? When he squared off with Joey Koser, and there he was standing out there trying to be invisible and wait for the puck to be dropped. Stefan, you're a little big. At 6'3", you can't hide. Look at him yucking it up. He thought he was going to get away with it.
That's right. He gets the roughing. McBean gets the tripping. Kovalev gets a roughing. You sort that all out. It's a power play for the Rangers. They have pulled their goaltender, so they have the extra skater on the ice as well. Well, let's see what they can do with it. Power play, but not much time left to go, and a big win as they clear it out of the zone on the draw. Steen getting some help from Dean Kennedy, and the Winnipeg fans are loving it. Leach brings it in, drops it off. Matteau can't handle it. The New York Rangers, coming in #1 team in the National Hockey League, are going to be beaten by the Winnipeg Jets, who are ranked 24th in the league and have put on a show here this afternoon under 10 to go. Matteau brings it in. He centers it for Mark Messier. Messier goes back to the point. Zubov dropped it. Leach can't get it. No shot will be taken. It's over. The Jets have beaten the New York Rangers by a score of 3-1, giving the Devils a chance tonight to tie for first. For Bill Clement and Al Morganti, I'm Gary Thorne. Our final, Jets 3, Rangers 1. John?
All right, guys, thanks a lot. As a result of that victory, Winnipeg is mathematically still alive for a playoff spot, and the Rangers are stuck on 99 points. Stay with us. There's still more to come in the National Hockey League here on ABC. When we come back, we'll get you updated on the rest of today's action. Stick around. There's still more to come.
The CBC Sports presentation. Tonight, a playoff series where comparisons are inevitable. 2 players, 2 very different styles. 2 coaches, 2 very different attitudes. 2 teams, 2 very different systems. And finally, 2 cities, but one very real rivalry.
CBC Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, bringing you the finest in hockey broadcasting for 25 years. Canadian Tire. There's more to Canadian Tire than tires. Canadian General Electric. We bring good things to life. Esso, responding to your needs makes us better. You make us better. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one, right down the line.
In round 1, the Flames and the Oilers both winners on the road. Game 3, Winnipeg, a dramatic series winner for Ken Lintzman with 1:14 left in the 3rd period.
Kept in by Lintzman. A good move as he got away from McLean. Lintzman, right up front, he scores! Kenny Lintzman walked right around the net and stuffed it in the far side.
For Calgary, Greg Meredith, an unlikely playoff hero.
Here's a chance for Lintzman. Backhanded, produced up, and he scores!
On to round two. The Smythe Division Championship features two of the game's great scorers, the Oilers' Wayne Gretzky and the Flames' Kent Nielsen, two players in a tie for the playoff scoring lead. As well, two key performers with a wealth of winning playoff experience, Edmonton's Ken Lynchman and Calgary's Mel Bridgman. Both